Right,
yeah.
legends. We click the Streameruniente button. What does crack lack it? I hope you're all doing exceptionally well out there in the wild world. I am in Dubai right now in the Cayenne Tower, so if I do get blown up by a fucking missile, yeah, I'll see you on the flip side. Yo, Pete, what you saying, bro? How you doing, man? All good?
Yeah, all good, man. All the prices are going up in England, the UK,
Oil.
gas.
Yeah, are you nice and set? Well, are you nice and comfortable in your safe house in Bristol with no bombs blowing up?
Yeah, well, yeah. Obviously, I'm not at risk of being bombed or anything like that, but everyone's complaining about it now. My cousin can't get any oil for the house. Like, it's all delayed, backed up, costs twice as much. It's already hitting people. It's crazy.
Are we even live right now? Let me just check if everything's going right. Are we actually live on YouTube, bro? Can you see it?
I'll have a look. I'll have a look.
It doesn't look good. It says 0 views.
Yeah, no one watches.
Maybe. I don't know if we're even live right now.
We've got like a couple of people in the house.
Yeah. All right, legends. Let's dive into this shindigs. I don't know what's going on with the analytics. I think it's kind of a bit weird right now. It hasn't even got a green dot, so I don't know what's going on. Are you sure it's live, bro?
Yeah, there's a couple of the boys in. There's 15 of us already in the first minute.
Oh, lovely jubbly. All right, legends. So we're going to go through BTC. Yo, everyone in the chat say what's crack-a-lackin'. Yeah, guys, we've got a lot to go through because we're going to talk about Iran. We're talking about the war. I'm in the war zone right now. I actually went to Fujairah last week. That's why I didn't stream last week. Now I'm back. And everything's been a little bit hectic. I'll probably cut the little bit at the beginning there because we went and tried to see if the stream was working. But everything got a bit hectic, legends. I went to Fujairah and then they bombed that area and then I've moved back. But now I'm back in Dubai. I'm in the Cayenne Tower. We'll go through all of the logistics and the numbers and how many bombs have been fired. I know all of it because the government here send messages to our phones basically like every day and every hour telling us how many missiles have been taken out, how many have been launched, what's going on with their strike. The UAE just struck that desalination plant this morning in Iran. Also, they send us information about what to do, like whether to get inside or if it's safe, or there are any missiles being detected. There's so much information the government are sending us. I kind of feel like I'm a military officer myself. What we're going to do is we're going to go through, and also, guys, my Twitter, I've been posting about some of these topics. My Twitter's been going absolutely ballistic. This is right now, this tweet's got like 313,000 views on my Twitter. So everything's kicking off on X, I should call it. But, yeah, guys, we'll go in later on in this video. We'll go through like what I think about the war, and I'll give you my prediction on when I think it's going to end from all of the information I'm getting in Dubai. Not all the tabloids and the fucking propaganda and the media. That's all. Most of it's bollocks coming from on the ground, on the boots, telling you exactly when I think it's going to end and how badly it's going to affect the Dubai real estate market, because we have already seen. I actually have a real estate portfolio in Dubai, so I have Burj Khalifa, Cayenne, a few others, and this is actually happening in real time. But when you do the research on what this index is actually showing you, it's not showing you the direct prices. It's not like now property prices are 22% less than they were a week ago. That's not actually what this is indicating. This is a completely different thing. We'll go through the index. I'll tell you exactly what's in the index. It's 4 or 5 different things they look at. And you can just basically chat GPT it anyway yourself. But it's a general barometer of the strength of the market. It does not necessarily mean that the prices have gone down 22% over the whole of Dubai, because also Dubai has a liquidity issue right now because there aren't many buyers or sellers, and lots of the real estate merchants or brokers are actually closed. So there isn't a way to actually even define what the market price is because there isn't any market transactions happening. So this is more of a barometer of the general strength of the market in terms of, yes, the prices could be rising because of these factors, or the prices could be falling because of these factors. But it's not like, oh yeah, you know, your listing, if I went and put this house on the market right now, if I listed it at the same price as I want to, it's not like I have to list it 22% less. This is a buyer and seller market. So we'll go into the real estate market, and it has broken a trend line. Obviously, charting this type of thing is not necessarily perfect, but, you know, it can be done. And, you know, let's just say when things rhyme similar on different charts, it can happen on any different types of assets you look at. So this could mean something. Anyway, we'll go through all that stuff. We're going to go through gold as well, guys, because gold's gone a bit flat. Maybe we've got the higher low here. We'll see what's going on. And obviously, we'll start with Bitcoin. So we'll go through Bitcoin. We'll go through the stock market as well. SPX, I've been calling, guys, for 2026 to be a big crash in the stock market. Let's see what we get. I've been calling it, guys. Look at my yearly forecast at the beginning of this year. I've been saying I do think that 2026 if not 2027, we're going to get a significant pullback in the stock market. And like this is a little bit like, you know, from the high, but it's not a huge crash. It's 5%. But if we lose these levels here, it's a plausible scenario that we're going to go down significantly lower on the stock market. But Pete, are you ready to rock and roll, bro? We're live and we're ready, yeah?
I'm 100% ready.
You got nice red background for the red charts today.
Property in Dubai, buy the dip, bro. No, I'm not buying a property in Dubai. I'm struggling to even buy a property in the UK these days.
These days, like you ever had a fucking house in the first place. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, no, you can't really buy the dip anyway. I'll talk to you about why that's, you know, there isn't really a dip because the prices haven't fallen and there's no liquidity. There aren't any real sellers because no one's buying or selling right now. But you are seeing listings that have come down significantly. But this index is slightly different, guys. We'll go into the index in a minute. Because if you actually look at what's inside the index, it's not just like the prices are going down 22%. Anyway, we'll start with Bitcoin, guys. So look, I'm not going to go into it. Very short-term time frame analysis in my VIP group, which you can get for free, guys. You can join my trading VIP group for free for life. I keep saying for 10 days. No. You can join at any point and you get it for life. So in the link in the description, if you want to join my VIP group, where you get all of my calls, all of our signals. I have a team of 6 mentors who've been trading for a decade over. All of these signals you see here, guys, and all these basically setups. For instance, our bot sold here, so I announced it to everybody. Anyway, all of this information, guys, you see on the screen, you can get it for free. And you can click our link below, go into the free community. And I'm doing this because everyone's getting wrecked in crypto, if not the whole fucking world. And yeah, it's a way that you can get some free resource and you can see the products, what they sell and everything. And then maybe you'll buy something. It's a way of getting you into the ecosystem of MDX Algo. You can then verify that we're the real deal. We know what we're fucking doing. And then you can make a purchase of our products like systems, Bot Master, Algo Master. And we have our systems for trading bots, as well as the Academy systems. A million different things. Anyway. I did make a call here, guys, saying that I do think if we hold around here, we're going to get a pop-up. And I actually wrote in the message that we could go down to the 64 swing low. The sweep the lows here. And we have actually got that. I actually have quite a significant position, guys, just to be completely transparent with you. Let me make sure this is working. I'll be completely transparent with you. I do have a pretty big position actually open at $64,000 on Bitcoin. It's in profit right now. It's only a small profit, but I've actually been building a swing long from 64, 65 when we came into this in the first wick down. So I've been building up a long position. In terms of my hunch, guys, okay, I'll go into what I'm doing and then I'll tell you exactly what I think is going to happen. I'll analyze the market and then I'll give you the trades because we know that analyzing is different to trading, okay? So I am in a long myself for the potential shot that Bitcoin could move up towards a 200-day moving average in a suckers rally scenario. So it would be something up to around here. I don't think it goes to all the way to $100,000 now, just because the 200-day is coming down so quickly. It might get the last swing high at 100. If we got a 100K move, I do think that would 100% cap it. I've been calling since the dawn of time, like we all know, that there's a really nice SR flip trade on 74K. You can see here, guys, this wick. This is $74,000. Every yellow line you see here, guys, is a potential trigger point on my trading strategy, whether we see it as resistance or support. So all these yellow lines, just take a fucking screenshot. This is the trigger point. So if you get above it and then retest it, it's a buy. If you go into it, you sell it if it's a resistance. So you can see here, guys, that this line has been drawn on this chart since, the beginning of time. And 74K, I always said, guys, would be a short position, a hedge short against the market. You can see, guys, this the price of Bitcoin came literally perfectly to $74,000. And if you actually look at it in a high, like magnifying glass, you can see it went to $74,000 to literally, like, it went to 74K. Like let me just actually, like, it literally is $74,041. And I was calling, guys, that when you come up to 74K, you hedge short against the market for potentially this being the first resistance point. Then it's basically continuing its trend, and then we'll go lower. And actually, guys, that has played out perfectly. So if you knew that and you were following my trades, you would have taken a hedge short on the basis of that. Even though I'm not giving you advice, I'm just telling you how I look at the markets. So at this given point right now, legends, Bitcoin is actually fairly weak. We're in the middle of this range. So if you draw a high price and a low price, I'll probably just go on a lower time frame actually to show you this a bit easier. So you go from the first swing low here, you draw a fucking line. The first swing high, you draw a fucking line, and then the middle point. So literally, we're in a defined range. I know this is a bit scribbly, but you can see we've been bouncing around it. We tried to break out back in, so we're back in the middle. So really, guys, the probability of us continuing to fall in price is higher than it is to then break a trend. Like the habit of the market, or let's just say the consistent thing is to hit the red fucking button and continue the trend, and the trend is your friend. So it's more difficult to break a habit than everyone just to be in the same cycle. So, and that goes for anything in life, actually. But I would say that it's probably more likely, guys, that we do actually fall further for the price of Bitcoin. And the next levels really to look at is going to be, you know, fucking early 50s. The first yellow line I have is 52, which has been drawn on for the beginning. 48.52 is really what you're looking at, and that will coincide with these two wicks, which is where we saw a significant amount of buy pressure. So you can see the price fell. We got bought up instantly. We fell below it. We got bought up instantly, and then we did. This is actually a reverse head and shoulders formation, like this, and we can see that that was the defined bottom. So what you're betting on is when you come back over here, you're going to get a similar amount of buyers step in, especially after 3 years of price action when the price already went to 120k. At that point, the price had never gone to 128k. So people didn't even know what the potential of Bitcoin is. Now people know that it went to 128k. So what you're doing is you're betting that if you come back to the same region where it found support previously, you're likely going to find support again. Actually, probably a better case, especially for people who are looking to invest or looking for long-term holds. But we know that the derivatives market is what predominantly determines the price of Bitcoin. It's not spot buying. It's not ETFs. It's not all fucking institutions. It's not family offices. All of that is bollocks. Derivatives is what gives you the day-to-day price. So, yeah, at this point, legends, if we do fall, it's 52 as the next buy trade for me. If we, guys, let's just make the exact same prediction that I made before. I said here, guys, that if we lose the January open, it's very likely we're going to make a new low and flush down and lose the wick. That happened in real time. Remember my last video? I said if we lose the January open, we're going to go significantly lower. It's exactly the same here, but actually it's the weekly open now, okay, of this week. And if you zoom in on this, you can see the weekly open is, so March, daily, weekly. We actually have a really nice defined level here. So this is my indicator AI charting tools, guys. Literally, it tells you where actually hourlies, dailies, weeklies, monthlies, all the way up. So you can see here, guys, we have a bunch of fucking lines, which is the March open, the daily and weekly open. So very similar to when I said, guys, if we lose the yearly open, we're likely going to flush down much further. It's the same fucking story for Bitcoin at this point, but it's going to be the weekly. And let's just give it a little bit of a buffer, okay? This yellow line is another defined line I use for an inflection point. So I would say between 64 and 65K, it really is the last line in the sand, guys, for the bulls. At this point, it doesn't look great, to be honest. But if we do come down and lose this, it's going to be another situation where it's going to be another flush down. It's unlikely that buyers are suddenly going to step in at this wick and hold the price and it's going to go up. I actually would much rather you'd see the sellers begin to get extremely fearful, and then that will cause a crescendo effect. So it'll be like a blow off down, and you blow off down. But you could call it, trying to catch all. It's a fucking fearful, crazy frenzy of selling. So if we do lose, yes, between 64 and 65, I do think it's exactly the same situation as the yearly of the yearly open with the weekly, and that you can even use that up here as well when you break these levels. You look lower. So really, guys, the trades are as follows on Bitcoin. So if we lose the weekly, I would take a trade on 64 again, though. Let's just be completely honest. I am long from 64. So if we came down into this again, it is a buy at 64. If that gets stopped out, guys, you're waiting till 52K. Okay? There's really not going to be much in the books. There's a few areas here, but I would wait for the yellow line at 52 because these lines are defined by previous price action. These are volume-based. And I would say, guys, you can see when the wick came into it, we did get support at literally $80,000. So it's not impossible, guys, that the price could come again to the wick and it could hold here and we could get something. That's fine. I'm just not taking a trade on the basis of that. I'll take the trade when we actually come up and then retest the level. Okay, so I'm not looking to try and catch the fucking knife. I'd wait for... If I've got levels which I'm going to buy and sell on the trigger, then fine. But if we go to 80 and we rally, I'll just wait for the next retest for the next buy because I just don't want to get in the way of this potentially flushing all the way down. And where's your stop loss anyway? So you're going to get wrecked. Very likely. So... the next trades, guys, 64K is a buy, 52 is a fucking buy, and 48 is a buy. Those are the three levels of support that you buy with your eyes closed on the way down for a potential bounce trade. And it could result in the bottom, actually, because we're probably likely between here and 30 is going to be the bottom for Bitcoin, very likely. I know that will scare a lot of people, because if we drop to 30K, that's another fucking 50% move down. But I would say that between here and 30 is likely where the bottom is going to be. So if you're buying on the way down, you're getting a higher probability of potentially timing that bottom. And when I say buy, guys, you could be using leverage, but for me, it's mainly spot buying. So the sell trades, legends, we are on one right now, unfortunately, for all of you bulls. Let's just say that that's already played out, because it has. We've already been through the level. I would say, guys, you're waiting for 74K. If you come to 74K now, it's a sell. Okay, 74K, we've already seen it sell once. But if we do come down, guys, and get another higher low, the more times you come into it, there's a little bit of nuance here in terms of what you do as a trader. If you see something like a formation like that, you just begin to hesitate and hold off with the 74K resistance, because the more times you're hitting it, the more likely it's going to break. It's like hitting a fucking hammer. It's like hitting a wall with a hammer. There's only so much it's going to take. So if we do get some sort of ascending formation, that would be a signal to say, okay, we're going to pop up. The next level, guys, to actually get a sell is 81. Okay, so that would be the next short for me. We're really looking at a short right now, unfortunately, for you bulls out there. But 74 is the first sell. We break it. 81's the first. Sorry, 74 is the first sell. If we break it, then you get 81 as a sell. Then you're buying 74. Okay? So you have to remember SR, it's support turns to resistance. So it's a breakthrough. Here's your fucking 81. You get your short in, then you get your long in at 74. Then you're in a perfect position, because then you can just whack your stop losses either side. And then whichever way it breaks, you're in a position. It's like playing chess against the price action. That's all this really is. It's just basically trying to place pieces as far ahead of the game as possible, so you are covered on all ends. And also then you have the stop loss management. So that's really it. In terms of even higher than that, guys, I will take a trade on the basis of the 200-day moving average, which will correlate with 100,000. So 81, obviously the yearly open. So I'll quickly draw them, guys. 64 is a buy, 52 is a buy, 48 is a buy, 74 is a sell, 81 is a sell, and then 74 becomes a buy. Then you get into your 87s, which is the yearly open, which is a sell. Could be another buy potentially. Even if you get it here, it's a sell. This is going to look a bit scribbly. So you're buying and selling all the SR levels, and you're just doing it the whole way without even thinking. You do this with your eyes closed, because trading you do not need to analyze the price to trade the market. Well, you need to analyze where those levels are to make those decisions to buy and sell. But analyzing is more about predictions. And I would say, legends, looking at this right now, I'd probably bet, if I had to, that we're probably going to fall lower, guys, again on this. The only way that would get invalidated in my mind is if we get a sharp move to 74, and then we begin to see an ascending formation. And if we get back above 74, I will say that, yes, I do think the probability of rising in price is higher, up to maybe 100K, and then we'll go lower. But at this point right now, guys, when you're watching this stream, the time is, so it's probably more likely, guys, that we're going to see the price fall. But if we get to 74K quickly, and we hold underneath it with an ascending formation, I think actually the probability changes. And then we're going to look at, the levels I just spoke about. And guys, in terms of that's lower time frame really analysis. On terms of higher time frame analysis and like what this war means for Bitcoin, it's probably, to be honest, let's not even talk about that. We'll talk about that at the end. If you go on a higher time frame, legends, here are all your levels again. And by the way, these are all drawn on the basis of the yearly open and closes. We're in a big pocket here, guys, of potential support on the higher time frames. I do think if we're gonna higher time frame, I'm saying, if it's here, fine, but it might be 52. I do think we're going to get some significant suckers rally. Unlikely that we're going to get above 100K. It will probably look something like that, guys. Whichever one we do, it's probably going to end up looking something like that, where we get some sort of suckers rally in, and then we actually wick down to a really low level. It will look something probably like the 20... A lot of people have been saying this. I'm not 100% convinced, but it might look like the 2019. So you have a rally out, it comes in, you're kind of coming back, and then you get this big wick back down, and then you continue. I'm not saying the market's going to look like that, because I actually don't agree with it, but I would say that it's not going to look too far off. It's probably going to be a rally out, some sort of suckers rally, and then we're going to get the last big fucking nuke, which is going to be really, really difficult for people to handle. And then we'll have the, Bitcoin will likely continue into its next bull market. But this is going to be the moment where you get like the kind of Michael Saylors even beginning to get worried. This is going to be when a lot of companies go bust and a lot of people lose everything and whatever. Even though we had a lot of that with the altcoins, the altcoin purge. But it's either now or 52-ish, maybe the wick close, where we are going to get a significant rally. And let me show you another example. You could say... This is an okay example, but it's like the rally out and then you get one more nuke. Or this is, it is actually quite a good example for Bitcoin where, you know, you've kind of made a top formation. You've fallen down. You've got this suckers rally up and then you just nuke through everything and then you get it. It is quite close to what I think might happen for Bitcoin. Obviously, it's not going to be the same time scale and it's not going to be the exact same fractal. I don't do fractal analysis, but I'm saying generally... it's likely some sort of rally out, and then we're going to get significant resistance, make a lower low again, but it'll be a short-lived lower low. And I really think this market might end up doing that. And by the way, that's my prediction. That does not mean that I won't change my mind on the basis of what the price does in the next coming days, weeks, and months. Okay, so if we did come to $100,000 quickly, because you got to remember as well, this whole war topic, everyone's like, oh yeah, war's going to be bad for all of the markets. Well, there's no real evidence of that. Bitcoin usually pumps actually when there's wars, and war, love this fact or hate it, war actually stimulates economies because you've got the American government spending billions of dollars on weapons, and those weapons are all made of millions or let's just say hundreds of thousands of different raw materials all around the world. So like fucking steel, bullets, copper, whatever. It's a huge business, and the military industrial complex probably is connected to most industrial, like let's say ore type of material based businesses, like mining businesses, fucking smeldering businesses. Isn't your brother a fucking welder, bro? Just everyone's getting a job when it comes to building either warships, guns, weapons, bullets. I can't say again.
My brother's a smelterer.
Did I say smelterer? Welding, yeah, fuck.
Yeah, he's a welder.
Well, there must be smelding is something. Or is it smelting? Smelting is something though. I think.
Yeah, it's smelting.
So I don't know. Welding. Welding. It shows how much I know about fucking construction businesses. Yeah. I've got very, very clean, fucking smooth hands, legends. I haven't been on the sites for a long time, but no, I'm saying, yeah, I'm trying to think of another industry which will affect so many different types of, let's say, yeah, construction and logistical and raw material based like industries. Like if you're going to fucking make guns, weapons, bullets, warships, potentially armor, helmets, like all that shit is going to affect pretty much most businesses that have to either mine shit or shit, create things out of the ground, even wood, trees, fucking whatever. So I don't know. There is a good argument to say that I wouldn't say for Iran it's going to be stimulating for their economy, but I could see it stimulating the markets because companies which sell weapons make more money. And if their profit share is higher, then they have a better yield for their investors or their shareholders. And then that means that the company's stock price rises because then it's more valuable because then you get more of a dividend yield, whatever it is. I don't know how much the dividend yields are on something like Stock Martin or what are those other big weapon dealers called. I don't know what their dividend yield is. They might not even have one, but I'm saying that I think war, unfortunately, for most people, it does actually stimulate the economy. So I wouldn't go by saying, oh yeah, now we have the Iranian war, that Bitcoin's going to go into a worse bear market than it's ever done in previous history. Gold's managed to hold up pretty well, if I can fucking say the word hold. And then we got SPX, which is falling. But I think this is a little bit of a coincidence. I just don't want to go down this road, legends, of all these people who are saying war must equal negative impact on stock prices or money market, let's just say asset prices, because they're not even connected. Like the economy and the stock market isn't even connected. To then say that a war could be connected, I think it's actually a little bit dangerous. And even we saw with COVID, you know, at the peak level of unemployment, closures, destruction of businesses, and literally death, at the peak level of that, that's when the stock market bottomed. And the best gains during a period of 1 or 2 years when all of these metrics got worse, the stock market went up. So there is no real correlation. So I'd just be very careful to say, I'm now going to short the market because there's a war in Iran. I actually think that could be a little bit dangerous. One market that is directly being affected, though, is oil. We will go into oil in a minute. And everyone's been telling me, why aren't you shorting oil on fucking CFDs, on eToro? It's because I don't want to get my fucking hands oily, greasy. It's too long for me to try and monitor those trades because of the way they move. And also, it's so unpredictable. I would rather trade the things that I know, which is the stock market, obviously crypto, Bitcoin, and going all the way through to some of the higher, like I love Nike, for instance. But yeah, no, we have got a lot to talk about, actually, guys, in the stock market. But I want to have a break a second and just finish with Bitcoin, and we'll talk to PE about some shit. In terms of short term, guys, I have called this in my VIP group. I do think we're going to get a push higher. We are getting that right now. The only, guys, way I'm going to change my mind of Bitcoin potentially going lower, and I do think that's the highest probability, is if we go to 74 right fucking now, and then we find support on another higher low like this. Then I would, if this posture begins to happen, I will then change my tune, and I will say, actually, I do think we're going to get a suckers rally now. If we don't, guys, and we fanny around here for a bit longer, unfortunately, you know, the charts, you know, we have a fucking sideways up nuke. What do you think's going to happen? And actually, it is beginning to look like I was calling this, guys. I said to everyone, when we came down here, this is a bear flag channel. We're going to get a measured move on it. It's quite likely, guys, that if this does result as a bear flag channel, we're going to get a fucking measured move on it, and it's likely going to take you to fucking 50, fucking 2,000 or lower. So, yeah, don't get too over, like, there isn't actually here anything. Like, one thing which is positive as well is that we had a move up, then down, then the wreck. Okay, so it's like an ABC correction. This isn't showing any of this ABC stuff, okay? So if you're doing wave counting, I'm not actually a big... I don't actually really enjoy using wave counting. I think it's not that good at contextual. It's out of context if you get it wrong, so you can kind of make up the fucking levels if you go on different time frames. But all we do know is that ABC, we know what it looks like. We're not getting that in any real way here. Actually, we are getting it the other way. So, because you see here, this rallied first, this nuked first. So it's actually inverted. So you could see the inverse of that happening. But fractal analysis, guys, is very, 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 very limited in the weight I put on it on trading. You guys know that I'm very, very, let's just call it stubborn with SR. I'm a super, super big component of it. I think SR trading is one of the best ways you can make money in a simple way. And then, guys, obviously, I use all of my algorithms and AlgoMaster and all of my tools, my indicators. I will go into BotMaster in a minute as well, because BotMaster is obviously something I'm using every single day. And on this channel, I talk about things that I use. But BotMaster, I have to go into a little bit more detail. The long to short ratio, we did actually miss. Look at this, guys. Look how fucking crazy this correlation is. So we on my channel, in my community, we were getting quite excited about this because it does show that shorts began to take over. As soon as we got this cross, Legends, by the way, it was like literally the moment. Like, the price was like, yes, we now have what we need, more shorts in the market. It began to rally. But it was so short-lived, and then the longs took over. And look, if you actually just fucking play the basis of when you get the crosses, it's as soon as it went short, the price rose. As soon as it went back long, the price fell. So it is a very good indicator to look at, guys. This is completely free, by the way. I've opened up a lot of MDX Algo tools and metrics for free. So you just go to mdxalgo.com/charts. This is completely free for everyone to use. And I'm paying the fucking API. So every single time you guys use it, I'm hitting a rate on that API. So I'm literally paying every single user I have to pay for this. And we get rate limited if it gets... I think we got 800,000 calls on the API. And this is because of the data, we're actually taking it from an exchange, but then we're actually aggregating it ourselves in a unique way. So you won't find this anywhere else. This is 100% unique to MDX Algo. And it's really nice the way we show the data. Well, it's nice for me because MDX Algo is actually a very self-centered company. All I've done is build tools that I want, and then I'm just betting that other people might want them as well. So that's literally everything. So long to short ratio, you can see here, guys, that we're getting it coming back down right now. One good thing about long to short ratio as well is that there is a correlation as well between when they're beginning to converge towards each other, usually that's actually the beginning of the move. So just because there are still more longs doesn't mean that there's more shorts climbing. If shorts are climbing, in a lot of cases, if the shorts are climbing, the price can still go up as well. But the crosses are just a little bit more of a defined moment, which you can use in a more quantifiable way. Because going with the way they're going it's difficult to have a solidified point of a point in time where you can say now this is a change. The crosses are a point in time. The direction of these is more difficult to bake into something that you can do consistently in a strategy. Anyway, PT, you've disappeared, bro. You need to share your screen, man. Where's all the news? Where's all the juicy news, bro? PT, are you even there, bro?
I was doing a lot of clicking and stuff, Do you
want to get up some news stories for us?
I was doing some smeldering back here.
Bro, if I give you an inch, you'll take a mile.
I was smelting.
If you hear one thing I say wrong, it's the whole stream's about it.
What's the chap been saying? MDX, long time. You okay? Hope you're well and safe, brother. Oh.
Yeah, well, it's been a bit. Honestly, I'll go into the Iran stuff now. I'll talk about Iran and get out of the way, and then I'll go into the stock market because I do think there's a lot to talk about. By the way, I posted this a minute ago, about a few hours ago. I just want to make a point here, legends, about actually the level of the companies that build real estate in Dubai. And there's a company called Nakheel, which is pretty much the gold standard of real estate developers in the UAE, and it's owned by the government 100%. There's a few other ones, guys. There's Damac, there's Maras, there's MR, and there's some other holding companies which do really good real estate as well, specifically MR. But Nakheel is probably the best real estate developer on this planet because, look at this. This was the render of the building before they built it. So this was just put out there into the media. This is the building we're going to build. And developers are always known for sprucing up their renders. It's literally every single developer company, Damac do it, MR do it, they all do it. Even the biggest companies in the world. But Nakheel have this kind of this, not tradition, but they have this kind of, I don't know what the word is. They have this kind of way of what they show is what they do. So it's they walk the walk and they talk the talk kind of thing. I'm trying to make a fucking point here. What they put out is actually what they build. And this is the render of the building. And this got everyone really excited. But I remember the media were like, but guys, it's never going to look like that. It's not going to look this amazing. I'm not fucking joking. The actual building looks better than the fucking render. Even these tiny little moves here, guys, and this whole thing here, it's literally unbelievable. And the building looks better in real life than the fucking render. And I'm just trying to make a point. It's almost like a trademark thing that the Nakheel do. They'll put out a render and they'll actually build the fucking render. And just if you don't know, if you're not a real estate person, that's actually really unheard of because developers love to put out their nice fucking render to get lots of people interested and excited because they want to get investors. But then it actually comes to fruition and it looks like a pile of dog shit. And you can type into Damac. Just go into Google and type in Damac render versus real build. And you're like, bruh, you got sold a fucking dream. But this building was one of the most expensive buildings built. It was more expensive than the Burj Al Arab. I think it was even more expensive than the Burj Khalifa. But that's not inflation adjusted. So if you inflation adjust it, it probably was less. But I'm saying in money, it was more. And I was on this balcony here. You can see my mouse cursor. I was having lunch on that balcony in a restaurant called the Culligan, which is a steak restaurant. It's got some of the best steak in the world. It's fucking delicious. I was on that balcony, and then the first missile, which Iran fired, came over this building and exploded above us. And I remember I was standing because I literally walked out onto the balcony. I was looking at the view this is fucking nice, waiting for my steak to get brewed up. And I literally saw the fucking explosion in the sky. And I was like, what the fuck? And I already heard that Abu Dhabi got hit. It was they hit the military base. And I was literally just what was that? That's mental. Was that a defense thing? Or was it a warning signal? And then it actually turned out that was literally a cruise. I think it was a ballistic missile that had been fired, which was going to a military base, which they blew out of the sky. But at that point, we didn't know. We just thought maybe it was a drill or something because we knew Abu Dhabi got hit. And then we drove from this location, we drove back to my apartment. And that's when all the phones went crazy, the ringing of the bells telling us to get indoors and screaming in our face. And I remember my phone went off and my girlfriend's phone went off, literally blinking, going beep, beep in our faces. And then we heard like explosions, like of fucking rockets getting, because they fired 250 rockets that day. So we heard them getting blown up in the sky. And I'm not fucking joking. I did a tweet about this. That moment was honestly a moment of just like unbelievable adrenaline, just emotions, and just fucking terror. I know what it feels like. Because the thing is, at that point, and I did a tweet about this. You probably watched it, Pete. I think you did. But it's like, at that point, we didn't know anything. So, like, you see all the films and you see what it can look like. I genuinely thought at that moment that there was just going to be like a sea of missiles coming down from Iran or some shit. Because the phone made it so fucking mental. Like, you know those movies where it's like the TV starts doing the beep thing, yeah? It was like that. But it was my phone, my girlfriend's phone, and everyone's phones outside did it at the same time. So the whole street was like doing this fucking beeping thing. And then, I don't know. It's just an insane feeling to feel, because like most human beings will never feel that. The feeling of, shit, what's going on? I'm being told to get the fuck indoors and I'm hearing huge explosions. I'm not talking like little fucking pops. It's like shaking your body, like boom. I'm actually glad I went through it, because it made me realize what these fuckers are going through in these other countries, and also going through that type of like being so unbelievably in the moment of like, this is survival, that you are fucking like, you're not even thinking, you're just trying to survive. And that moment is actually kind of addictive in a way. I understand why people probably go base jumping and they do really, really dangerous shit, because when you're in that situation, it's almost like a flood of just like crazy adrenaline. It's fucking crazy. You're just like, oh shit, I'm about to fucking get blown up. And me and my girlfriend, we ran into an understory car park. Everyone else was running down, screaming. It was literally something out of one of those Hollywood films, bro. It's crazy. Like, you're not getting that in Bristol, are you?
No, it's pretty quiet here, mate. But yeah, no, I can't imagine it. So in Dubai, though, is everyone panicking or what's going on?
No, well, the thing is about Dubai, it's like, at the beginning, yes. At the beginning, yes. I had a bunch of tourists who came out of their hotel, and I remember they were panicking. They were like asking me questions. They were like, "Are you a local?" I was like, "Yeah, I've lived here for a few years, 6 years." They're like, "Oh my god, what should we do? What the government said? Can I see your phone?" Like coming up to me and trying to see my phone. And I remember saying to them, I was like, guys, I literally said, I'm not from a military background, so I don't know. But what I would say to do, I had to explain myself. Like, I'm not like ex-military or anything. But I had to explain. I said to look, if I was you, I would try and get a car and go somewhere. That was my first thing to say. I said, get a car. If you've got a hire car, just drive out the city. That's what I did as well. Because these were fucking, they had their kids with them and shit. You know, one of those, like, you know, those families which kind of look like they don't really know what they're doing. They're a little bit out of their own depth being in Dubai. And I was like, guys, just get in a car. And I would say, just drive out the city, because you got kids and shit. You don't want to fucking, and I got to remember, at this point as well, we did not know. It could have been, it was such an unknown. We were just like, well, we heard Abu Dhabi got hit. We've just seen an explosion. Our phones are telling us, and we heard all of these. This was 250 fucking projectiles blown up above our head. It was a crazy moment, but people weren't panicking that much actually, because I think people didn't panic that much because when the explosions happened, a lot of them were very high, and they weren't like massive. Like they were only like these small plumes of smoke. So I feel like that kind of downplayed it. And also, because the Dubai military blew all of them up, basically, 98% of them, there weren't any, like, severe direct missile hits, which people could see. I think if one of them had got through and hit a building, like you see in Tel Aviv, I think it would be a whole different story. I think people would have started going nuts. But it was that never happened. And now, the thing is about Dubai... By the way, I just did talk about that building, but the thing is about Burj Khalifa, by the way. I did a post about Burj Khalifa. It's got 300, and this is now on 313,000 views. But the Burj Khalifa was never evacuated. The Burj Khalifa was never hit, just so you guys know. That was all fucking media bollocks, because I have a tenant in the Burj Khalifa who has fled the country, and they're actually in contact now, so it's all fine. But they did flee the country. I couldn't get contact with them, and I understand why. I would have been in the Burj Khalifa. I rented it out. I used to live there. But I understand why you would leave, because it's the fucking tallest building in the world in the middle of it. And you could see things happening. But it's like, yeah, the market has definitely been a lot. It's been destabilized for sure. A lot of people have left. There's a lot of fucking it's a crazy situation. Like I don't know really how it's going to end. But all I would say is this: if this fucking war, okay, so if you put all the media aside, because the media are kind of, they're all trying to make clicks and make money, and they know that the more crazy they are with what they say, the more people are going to click on their website and buy something or whatever it is. So I'm saying this: the media are blowing it out of proportion. So if you don't look at tabloid, you don't look at propaganda, you don't look at media, the news, the one thing you can rely on is the numbers, okay? Like the straight numbers, the straight up numbers of how many rockets are being fired. And the Dubai government are sending us messages the whole time about this, and they tell us exactly how many they've blown up. It's actually incredible. I feel like I'm part of like their crew. I'm like, fucking, yeah, go on, boys. Blew up another one. So the first day, they launched 250 ballistic missiles, which is just an insane word to even say. I think 9 of those were cruise missiles, and then there was 1,000 drones on the first day. So we're talking like nearly 2,000 things fired at Dubai. They wiped them all out, and debris was what hit all of the places. So everywhere which got hit was actually debris of a blown up rocket. There was no direct impacts, except for maybe the one in Abu Dhabi. But the thing is now, if you go on 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks, 10 days, now, yesterday, for instance, they only launched 8 missiles as a whole. 8 missiles as a whole. First day was 250. Yesterday was 8 with 100 drones. So basically, this is objective numbers. What we're seeing is that the ability for Iran to fire missiles at Dubai, the UAE, and the Gulf nations is significantly drops, like rapidly. Like they literally do not have the capacity. Like if they could, they would do 200 a day. But apparently they probably got 3,000 missiles in stockpile. All of their actual launching units have apparently been destroyed. I think America said they hit 3,500 fucking locations in Iran. And also this morning in the early hours, the UAE blew up a desalination plant. The UAE attacked Iran and blew up a desalination plant. So a lot of people are coming out and saying, Iran's going to win this war and Iran's going to be able to like choke out the US, or they're going to do the Straits of Hormuz. By objective numbers, the missiles are essentially gone. They're 5% of what they were firing now. So it's only 5% of what they were firing. So that means that they're fucked, really. That just shows that they're having a bad time. The UAE just blew up one of their desalination plants, and they haven't retaliated yet. So they did that this morning. So they could fire something tonight. Who knows? We've had rockets every single night. They might fire one to their desalination plants, which would make sense. But if they don't, then we know that... I just think this. A lot of people are saying Iran are like kind of like playing it real strategically right now. I think actually no. I think they're fucking hurt, I think, right now. They're not firing any missiles. They haven't retaliated from the UAE on the desalination plants. This might be famous last words. They might fucking launch 100 fucking missiles now at the Cayenne Tower. I get blown up for saying this. But I would say on the balance of probabilities, without any news or media or tabloids or X, by the straight numbers, because we're giving them, like the UAE are telling us the numbers, 95% of the missiles that were being fired have stopped. And also, you got to remember as well, Iran is, I think your Chinese legend, I can't remember what he said. I think Iran drinks 100% of its natural water supplies. So it has natural water supplies.
Drinks something like fucking 6,000%.
No, I don't think Iran does. 6,000 is Abu Dhabi. Okay, maybe you're right, but let's not get into the woods of the numbers. It's just a fucking not. They just don't have natural supplies of water, whether it's 100% or 6,000%. I know that Dubai is 170 times more water is drank than the natural supplies. So I know that Dubai is mental. So basically 99.9% of all water in Dubai comes from desalination, because we drink 170x, which is 17 or 18,000% more water is drank by the citizens than is created naturally. Say again?
I was just going to go into a different topic. Just about someone in your chat has said, what is with all the crypto guys talking about Dubai being safe? And I did notice, like, on the very next day, there was a coordinated, like, campaign of people bigging up the leaders of the UAE and saying,
no one was paid. I very highly doubt anyone was paid to do this type of propaganda. It was too quick, and the government weren't mobilized. They can't do that like that. They were much more likely literally thinking about what they're going to do with the whole war. It's because it's controversial. Like, okay, what country in the world would you say having missiles fired at it and it's still safe? That never happens. It's because most other citizens of most countries are pointing the finger at their own government. The thing about Dubai is a whole different thing. It's not a real country. It's a company. It really isn't a real country. It's literally an airport that does 60% of all of the nation's GDP. If the airport did not become successful in DXB, if the Dubai airport did not become successful, Dubai would never be what it is today. It was never built on oil. Oil came from Abu Dhabi. There was a little bit of oil at the start, but they invested that. Abu Dhabi then reinvested. They took money from BlackRock and Vanguard, and they built a real estate empire, and the airport was the main thing. So this is what it probably, this is the whole thing. But what I'm trying to make is this point. It's the reason people are saying that online is because it's controversial and it gets them lots of attention. Because you're like, oh, I'm still in Dubai and it's still safe. And having said that, Dubai is still pretty fucking safe. I know this is not to be... we shouldn't put this down, but the records go with it's around 3 to 5 people who've died in the UAE. So 1 person in Abu Dhabi, 4 people in Dubai, but they don't know yet because there was 1 guy. So it's basically either 3 to 4 people probably in Dubai, maybe 2 to 4, but I think it's probably 4 people. So you're saying that 5 people have died. Okay, since the war started in the UAE. Again, by objective numbers, that still means it's in the top 10 countries of this planet for safety. Because 90 people die a year in London from knife crime. 310 people die in New York every year from guns. So, it's still one of the safest places in the world. It's just that the nature of the deaths are so volatile in the terms of so unpredictable. Like, if you fucking walk down the Bronx in fucking whatever it is, or you walk down a horrible street in London, or you go to a gang area of London, yes, you might get stabbed, but everyone knows that, and that's why they don't go there. And a lot of the crime in London is gangs on gangs, and a lot of the crime in New York is fucking people shooting each other in gangs. So the difference is that in New York or London, you are always safe in your own home, basically. That's kind of what it is. Like, in London, in your home in Bristol, or in your house, that's your safe zone. It's like GTA, you walk into the safe house. The difference is with this is that your house is actually the place where you could get killed. So there isn't any safe house to go to because you can't control where the rocket hits. So it's just the nature of the type of way of dying. But objectively, by numbers, Dubai is still the top 10 safest country in the world, even if 5 people die a year from a rocket landing on their head. Because that's crazy. That's unbelievably crazy. Like, it's only... I know you don't want to put it down at all, but 5 people, out of Dubai itself is 3.2 million in population. It's just crazy how small it is. So that's why people are doing it. And also, it gets a lot of clicks and a lot of stuff like that and everything like that. But the one thing we need to know is this. Is the Dubai real estate market going to see a prolonged period of wreckedness? And this is my prediction. And I'll put this prediction out there and you guys can all bookmark this video and I'll clip it. I would say this. If the war ends this week, because it's Monday, if the war ends this week with Iran either surrendering or a deal getting done or the war ends and the bombs stop firing, I think the real estate market in Dubai will probably make a complete turnaround and be back to where it was in a couple of months. Okay? Seriously, because I think actually... that will give the Gulf states and the UAE specifically the ammunition or the proof that actually we defended our nation with ballistic fucking THAAD and Patriot missile defenses, and the war's over and only 5 people died, and you're actually even fucking safer now because the regime is they'll double down on it being even more safe. They'll just say the UAE is even better. Like, if you go to any country and you say, do you have a THAAD system and a Patriot system? 2 other countries in the world have that. And UAE is a fucking city, basically. Like, it's like Dubai and Abu Dhabi. It's actually crazy that they have these defenses. Like, Tel Aviv is Israel, and it's getting bombed to shit. They can't stop the missiles. Nothing got through the UAE, really. It's actually unbelievably good. how this small place didn't get any missiles directly hitting them, except for maybe Abu Dhabi. But that was the first one. Who the fuck knew? So I actually think like there's only a handful of countries in the world which has this defense. If the war ends in a week, I think the real estate market will probably actually get even more valuable because people are like, shit. Like what they actually overcame was unbelievable. But the caveat is this. If this war drags on for 5, 6, 2 months, 3 months, it becomes very difficult for me to make a case that the Dubai real estate market's going to recover in at least 5 years. Just because, think about this. Who is buying in Dubai? It's giga-wealthy people who are extremely eccentric on security and extremely rich. So they want to buy like every single building you see in Dubai, the penthouse is $20 million minimum. And every single one is sold. There's always someone living in these penthouses. The issue is that if you say to a billionaire, a millionaire, someone with a rich business, or someone who's just made it recently on a fucking pump and dump, if you say to them, okay, where do you want to invest your money in the world? Because you could go to Panama, you could go to Singapore, you could go to fucking Malta, you could go to here and there, you could whatever. So the issue is that if you had a 3 or 4 month black mark in the history of the country being at war, it's so difficult to justify, I'm now going to invest $30 million into a penthouse. But 4 months, a couple of years ago, it could have got blown out of the fucking sky or blown out of the building. That's really difficult for rich people to justify because it's like, well, I'm putting $30 fucking million of my money into this thing. I want to make this my home, but Iran could turn around in the next 3 years and have another war. Because you got to remember, like 3 months is a long time for the investing cycle, the individual cycle. The liquidity is going to have to come back at some point. So there will be a realization of prices falling if it carries on going. If it finishes tomorrow, it's like the market never had time to actually adjust. Because the buyers and sellers just couldn't get in and out, so it couldn't actually, the price discovery couldn't change. Like, you gotta remember, like, most fucking real estate people are either not going to work, the company's closed, it's a liquidity crunch. No one's even buying and selling right now. So really, this is an index which is showing you 4 or 5 different things. This is taking into account the stocks of companies that are real estate businesses. Okay, well, that doesn't necessarily mean anything to do with the price of a house. This is taking into account index of sentiment. Okay, that's got nothing to do with the actual buy and sell of a house. This is taking into account metrics which are the profit and loss of certain real estate bureaus. This is coming from government back. This has absolutely no correlation to the actual price of the open market of homes being bought and sold. I think about 20% of it is. But the problem is that nothing's been bought and sold right now because there's no liquidity, because no one's buying and no one's selling and no one's open. So they can't even gauge what that is on this specific index. This really, if you want to make sense of this is more of a general barometer of the strength of that specific real estate market. So DFM, it's the United Arab Emirates way, or Dubai's way of saying what's the strength of the market by the strength of the company selling real estate, the sentiment of the market in general, so going into social media, also looking at where does the money flow, so where's the investment capital in terms of the bureaus. So this is not really actually anything to do with the price. This is just saying what's the strength of the market. If this goes up, the probability of a home being higher in price is more, because it means that the actual market itself is stronger, so the prices will probably be higher. But it does not mean that, let's just say you bought a house when the index was here. It doesn't mean you can't buy the property overpriced, or it doesn't mean you can't buy the property underpriced. You can still buy something for a shit deal and still buy. It's not like you go onto your app on Property Finder and all of everything's gone down 22%. No, I own a property, and if I wanted to list at the same price that I think it's worth from 4 weeks ago, I could do that. Whether I get the sale or not is a different story, but that then takes time for the liquidity factor. Because then if I can't sell my property and I want to, I have to start bidding down. That's when you get the sell, and 20% of this index is what this is being created by, but not the whole thing. So it's like, this is it's a cool thing. I like this. It's a cool index. It definitely gives you a general idea of what's going on in the Dubai real estate market, but it's not complete. The real way of doing it is crunching the actual open market buying and sell market prices. And there'll be companies that can do that, but this index doesn't do that. But like I said, if it ends in a fucking week, this is going to spike back up, and they'll probably make it even into a thing where it'll be a media campaign. They probably will start paying people, and they'll make it into a thing like, look at what Dubai did. 5 people died, and we took out 99% of all these missiles. They'll start making stories up like even the United Kingdom wouldn't be able to do that. And there's probably truth to that, because the United Kingdom doesn't even have some of these missile defense systems. Most of Europe does not. Any small European nation, no chance. Even Tel Aviv doesn't have this capability. So like, is that they'll probably be able to make it and spin it into a massive marketing win. But if this goes on for 5, 6, 7, 8, 2 months, 3 months, a year, if that happens, any big investment company, real estate investment company, any private equity, any individual who's a billionaire, you're just going to look at the market there, because you can choose wherever you fucking want when you got that kind of money. And you're just going to say, look, let's do it in Panama. Let's do it in Miami. Let's do it in Singapore. Let's go to fucking Tokyo. I don't know. Like, there's tax there, but the real competitor would be probably a Singapore, a Panama, maybe somewhere in Europe, maybe a Cayman, or maybe even Seychelles, whatever, those types of places. But it does beg you the question. It's like, well, if you had $1 billion and there's loads and loads of buildings over 3, because remember, guys, if this goes on for 6 more months, there'll probably be 150 apartment buildings hit in general. You just do the maths. Like, if that happens again, my penthouse, which is $30 million, might be blown up. And then you just don't make that fucking decision, do you? So it needs to end quickly. Otherwise, the Dubai real estate market is, I think it's got years of being wrecked. I'm just going to have to fucking hodl. I was telling you, Pete, I'm hodling my Bitcoin, which is 50% down, hodling my fucking brand new real estate investments in Dubai. I'm getting wrecked, bro.
Gotta hodl it, brother.
What's the media? What's going on?
A couple of clips for you. Are you ready, brother?
Yeah, let's do some clips, and then I'm going to jump into stock market stuff. We'll do some clips, legends, then we'll get into the stock market Aruni Ente. You might as well not show your face, bro, because it's really lagging.
My face is lagging.
Yeah, well, because you're fucking old, and also because...
Right, so, have you seen this happen?
I can't hear the sound, but yeah.
Just panic buying of... there is no sound.
No, bro, what? He's buying hundreds of McDonald's.
Yeah.
He's not he's not buying $4,000 worth of Mackies.
Yeah, he's getting the Mackies in because of the shortages. Everyone's stockpiling.
And you know what? If he puts those McDonald's burgers into a safe or into a high secure unit, they will last for longer than fucking Dubai will probably last in a war of World War III.
It's a good
good strat. It's a good store of value.
It's for a good for assets. Oh, this one. This is kind of.
Oh yeah, this guy. He went on Sneako's
these
show.
are not real society.
Make it full screen.
And so it's all
actually don't, because your laptop will break.
Real societies, and so it's all been a mirage. So they spend a lot of money creating this image of themselves as safe and secure places where you don't pay taxes and you can make a lot of money. So put all your money here, and people were putting their money in Dubai. But guess what? Just one drone, one ballistic missile has destroyed this mirage, and once this mirage is destroyed, it's never coming back. So we can expect billions and billions of dollars to flee the GCC.
Let me comment on this first point
over the next few.
It's only a minute long.
Yeah, he said. The thing is about this, I actually do agree with him. If the war goes on for longer, but if the war doesn't go on for longer, you have to disagree, because we've actually seen conflicts happen in the Middle East many, many times. Even I remember when my friend Will was in Bahrain, there was the heightened issues of war, and Iran did hit a couple of military areas in the UAE even back then, and obviously there was the whole stuff in Israel. Obviously, the thing is about this guy, I actually agree with him that this is difficult if it goes on. I agree with him if it goes on for a long time, because it will really tarnish the image. But the problem is about this guy, he said that one drone means you can never get it back. That's actually not true, because I actually do think that if you look at the numbers again, not the tabloid media and the news and all the propaganda from Iran or whatever, the problem is with that statement is that a lot of nations which are extremely prosperous today and have massive great economies have been through big wars. They've been through massive wars. Even like places like Iraq, which got bombed the shit out by the Americans, and Baghdad got blown to smithereens. Even that country before this specific war was coming back. And you saw investment, you saw things happening, and there's lots of other examples. Vietnam.
Holidays.
Vietnam, bro. Like, Vietnam got bombed to shit out by the Americans. Nowadays, it's this massive, well, not massive, but it's a thriving tourist location. There's lots of different examples. Even if you go down to when the Panama Wars were happening, I was going to move shit there. So he's actually wrong with this. It's not like you can never get it back. It will, if it stops tomorrow, I think this is a double down for Dubai, really. If it doesn't stop tomorrow and goes on for many months, I think he's right, but not forever. Because you got to remember as well, Dubai is so young. I think what a lot of people like to do with Dubai, and this is why the social media content's going so hypey, is because people love to see other people their downfall. People love to see people fall. It's like a fall from grace. It's like, honestly, one of the most it's like a spectacle to normies to see someone rise and someone fall. It's like BitBoy, for instance, which is a shit example because he's a twat anyway. But let's think of a gladiator. Like the rise of the gladiator, and then they end up dying in a big battle. It is literally a story. So a lot of people like this who probably aren't that financially free. He's probably not. He's not a millionaire, probably. He's probably not been to Dubai on a long time basis. He's probably not seen or understand the numbers of Dubai. Because again, if you look at the numbers of Dubai, even with this war, it's ridiculous. The population when I first came here was 2.6 million. It's now 3.3 million. Like, what city on this planet has been growing that quickly? And what city on this planet has been growing that quickly and also being able to build a quality of life for its people, which is still, even with 5 deaths from ballistic missiles from Iran, in the top 10 countries of the world? So actually, it's people want Dubai to fail because secretly deep down, they wouldn't mind actually having the means to be able to go there in a lot of cases. Not for everyone. I know it's not for everyone. It wasn't even for me when I first came here. But in a lot of cases, people feel like they've missed out on this Dubai thing, and they are pissed off about their own taxes because we know the socialists are all getting wrecked, and we know that the economies and the quality of life is going down, even though they're so happy with their moral standpoint of paying more tax. They still live a shit life, even though they pay more tax. The thing about Dubai is that you don't pay tax. A lot of people are jealous because of that, because they can't actually do it. They haven't got the mobility. They haven't got the flexibility to actually leave and do a Dubai-style thing. And a lot of people just want to see rich people fail and fall. Fine, that's just how it is. And I think people like him, they kind of are in that bracket. He's being too harsh with his words. Because actually, if you look at the numbers, even if this war went on for 6 months, in 6 years, you'd probably be back to normal, but you'd have a long period of people not investing. But after 6 fucking years, like, you look at all the other countries in the world, around the world, which went into wars, and they've completely bounced back. Like, you've got all of the Asian stuff. You always had the Vietnam stuff. You've had wars all across the Middle East, and countries have bounced back. What about Kuwait? Lebanon got hit recently, and that was coming back. Thing is about this cycle is, like, 10 years is a new generation. People forget everything. Like, really, they forget everything. Like, even when it comes to fucking just normal business cycles, they forget everything. Anyway, you can carry on, bro. I just wanted to get my point out.
Weeks.
And is this a paid marketing campaign? I'm sure you've seen these info. Could we expect that they're trying to do damage control?
Yeah, they are. And honestly, like, you know, these influencers also have property in Dubai, right?
Yeah.
So it's in their best interest to maintain the image that Dubai is still vibrant. But look, once the mirage is punctured, you can't see it again. Okay, so I mean, it's
let me comment
done.
again. The issue is, I know
future here.
I know for a fact that influencers are not being paid by the government to say stuff. 100 million%. They couldn't mobilize that quickly. They wouldn't be able to get it out there. They wouldn't be able to contact them. This all happened in a week. Like, even the messages that were sent out to people to warn people about the bombs happened like hours later. There is absolutely no way that the government is paying private individual content creators to say stuff about Dubai. A lot of it is because people own real estate. A lot of it is because people want it to be prosperous. And a lot of it is because influencers are trying to make Dubai sound in a certain light, even though it's been bombed, to get lots of social media clicks. Because if you come out and say, actually, Dubai is still the safest place in the world, which on paper it is, in the top 10 still, if you say that, it's massively controversial, because any other country that's been bombed is obviously not a safe place. But it's a combination of this. Dubai And I'm not saying this from a vested interest. Like, I own a couple of properties here. I don't actually really care. Like, I'll just hodl the fucking thing. I have somewhere to live. I'm not trying to tell people that Dubai is fine because I have a few fucking homes here. No, that's ridiculous. I'll be completely truthful about the situation. The situation is that considering what's happened, they've had an unbelievably good response because of the objective numbers of how many rockets they've shot down. Yes, 5 deaths is too much, but 5 deaths is still a small amount compared to any other country, like Tel Aviv. They've been very calm, been collected. They've just retaliated against them. So all I'm saying is that a lot of social media guys who live in Dubai, because everyone hates Dubai and wants it to fail, they're kind of doing a little bit of fight back. And also, they are trying to get a lot of social media clicks. So them saying, I'm absolutely fine in Dubai, it makes out for a good story. Like, you know, the Andrew Tates who are driving back to Dubai and stuff. All of that's a little bit too macho. I'm against all that shit. That's bad fucking advice. If you've got family, kids, businesses, and people who rely on you, all that kind of shit, it was worth leaving the city. Because otherwise you're just being a selfish prick. Because it's not you who has to bear... If you were one of those 5 people who died, and you have a business with employees, and you have a family, and your parents are saying, look, just leave the country just in case. If you say no and then you die, everyone else has to pay the fucking price. So that's just fucking ridiculous, and that's just selfish. It really is. It's a very, very narcissistic way of looking at it. It really is. And we already know that he's like that. So that's too fucking far. But he is doing the same thing. He's like trying to make social media clicks and say Dubai's fine because it makes loads of money. The annoying thing is there is a little bit of truth to that. But I just think people are just on both sides being too extreme. People are saying Dubai is perfectly fine, and then people are saying Dubai is completely over. Actually, guys, it's bang in the fucking middle. And Dubai will probably have a lot of problems if the war continues for 6 months. 100%. It's going to have bad real estate investment. The company's going to go through a 2008 recession if it goes on for 6 months. Fine. If it ends this week, if it ends this fucking week, I reckon you double down on fucking Dubai. What you got for me, bro? What's behind the influencer defending Dubai? Oh, God. This is all going to be wrong because I know it's not. I can't hear it, though.
Yeah, no, I'm not playing you. Well, can listen.
What's she saying, this stupid lefty bitch?
It's just explaining how, like, the coordination of videos, talking about, like, you know, how safe Dubai is and...
It's not because of the government. I know for a fact it's not because of the government. The government are not paying influencers. It's much more to do with the social contagion of Dubai. And it's the social aspect of everyone wants to see Dubai fail because everyone who's rich is there not paying tax. And also it's like because the people who live here, they kind of have made a decision to leave their home countries, which was like a lot of people don't like that, and they're skipping on tax. So it's a little bit of a defense mechanism. The thing about Dubai, when you come to Dubai, you feel like the people and the government are genuinely on your side. Everyone thinks that Dubai's like, oh, they're going to put you in jail for like having some weed on your foot or something. Actually, maybe 20 years ago when it was more conservative, but Dubai is the Las Vegas of the Middle East. Like Dubai is where they want tourism to come. They want to bring investment. And Dubai is the place where it's almost like the cesspit of the UAE, to be honest. Abu Dhabi is much more conservative. They have much more rules. And that's where all the fucking Emirati live anyway. Dubai is just the attraction with the airport that is the blood. The airport is the heart pumping all of... Like, you've got to remember, they are just making billions of dollars from the airport. 60% of all GDP comes from the airport. They're moving trade all around the world, and then they're just pumping humans into their cities through this airport. The thing is about it, it's like when you come to Dubai, you kind of feel like not like their family, but they're kind of like your bro. Like the Dubai is kind of your bro for young entrepreneurs who want to get ahead and they're fast thinking. They're not thinking about all the past and everything that needs to be done and all this crap. It's just about forward thinking, build new buildings, and just go. Let's just fucking make the most of this. So the thing about Dubai is that they let all that happen. If you come from England, fuck me, guys. Like, they're like, you know, every I has to be dotted, every T has to be this. If your regulation isn't correct, they're going to come with a team. HMRC is going to give you a bill, or if you miss this tax thing, you're going to hit this. They're literally like a fucking school teacher just hitting you on the hand every single second of the way. Like, you're not allowed to have fun. Dubai kind of feels like, you know, it is a little bit crazy, and sometimes they do get it wrong with the rules. But I'm saying, like, they kind of feel like you're bro, and they're like, yeah, okay, look, it's okay, no tax. Like, if you make a mistake in the business world, like I made a mistake in my business when I first came here, and I hardly even got a fine. They let me off once. Like, they fucking let me off. They're like, look, first time error, don't worry about it. I'm like, okay, cool. Then, you know, you get given a lot of perks here. So, for instance, you know, when you get your ID, then you can use it to travel to other Emirates. And it's very safe because the police are actually on your side. And obviously, guys, like, you got to remember, okay, the reason people are defending it is because Dubai give you an incentive to defend it, because they do things for you. They say, don't pay tax. We're not going to fucking breathe down your neck with regulations. We're not even going to ask you to do accounting half the time. Like, they're kind of giving you an incentive to want to protect them because you feel like they're giving something to you. They've got your best interest at heart. They really do. I know they're a bit strict on some stuff, but that's actually from a place of protection, not hate. They're not trying to put you in jail here. They're just like, you will go to jail if you do this, which we don't believe. It's like going to Disneyland, Florida. They might tell you, sorry, mate, if you want to come to our theme park, you've got to pay the entry price, and we're going to have a great time inside, but you can't chew gum, you're not allowed to drink, you're not allowed to smoke, and that's fine. Everyone says, fuck it, I'll pay the entry fee and I'll go have my fun in fucking Disneyland, Florida. You abide by the fucking rules. It's exactly the same thing in Dubai. You pay your entry fee, you get your nice life in here, but you got to do what you got to do, because this is not a country, this is a company. You are coming into a company, this is an operating fucking place, and it's a lot different to a democratic, open democracy society. It's not even freehold. You're on private owned land by kings and queens, which, by the way, is exactly what England was pre-1750. Okay? It was kings, queens, landlords, earls, dukes, who ran the whole country, and it was a fucking monarchy dictatorship. So it's exactly the same. The Emirati are not making anything up here. They're not creating a new thing. They have just completely copied. Think about the United Kingdom. England, Wales, Scotland, Ireland. United Kingdom. Think about United States. Go through the 50 states. Think about United Arab Emirates. Sharjah, Ras Al Khaimah, Abu Dhabi, Dubai, and there's a handful of others. Think about that whole concept. That's exactly a copy of what the United Kingdom is. United Arab Emirates, United Kingdom, United States. It's the same thing. They just copied it. Even the plugs are English here. Like, this is not a new concept. This is exactly what England was before democracy and the parliamentarians took control. This is basically a fucking monarchy dictatorship. That's why England and Great Britain was so great, because it had kings and queens who knew what they were doing. And actually, the gold period was when the kings and queens owned about 70% of everything, and there was a 30% government. That was the sweet spot. Now it's 100% government democracy, and it's all gone to shit. So it's not much of a... Anyway, I'm going on an absolute tangent here. I'm just saying that fucking... Dubai has a way of making you like them because they kind of give you stuff. It's not like the government give you stuff in England. They're always trying to take as much as possible. They're trying to push you as far as possible to take. And you're naughty because you're making money. And if you're naughty, you need to give us more. It's the opposite here. It's almost like they give to keep... And they have a competitive edge. That's why no company can compete with Emirates. Everyone's like, why isn't British Airways like Emirates? Bruv, like, this is a joke. Like, that's like saying the baddest fucking lion in the fucking desert, or wherever it is, in the Masai Mara. It's like saying the most motherfucking big dick lion in the Masai Mara is going to get killed by the gazelle. No, bruv. Like, there's no chance. Like, they are a company. All of their GDP is the airport. They have to defend the airport. If you switched it on England and said that British Airways needs to go back to being public, and 60% of all the money that the whole country makes has to come from that fucking airport and that British Airways brand, we'd probably still fuck it up. But I guarantee you the flights would be on time. Motherfucking, it's ridiculous. Anyway, what's this prick doing on the screen?
It's the new leader.
Yeah, I know. He's the son, isn't he?
Oh, it's just an interesting post going through all of the people that have been killed or injured in his family. His father, his mum, his wife, his son.
He's going to die. He's probably got about fucking 15 minutes. He's got 15 minutes left.
Relatives. Yeah, have you seen that? I'll bring that up in a second, but yeah. Do you not think he's just going to carry it on?
Mate, he's going to get blown the fuck up. America have hit 3,500 sites. I think he's already said that he's going to fight for dignity, and they got to remember that, like, and this is not me being an expert in the Islamic world or even the Muslim religion. It's quite similar to, you know, the Japanese when they would, like, you know, kill the samurai would kill themselves, you know, if they lost the war. It's just the same as that. They're jihads. They're just gonna go down with a flaming ship, and that's fine. I think there is a lot of actual respect to give them in a lot of ways, actually, because, like, if you really look at the history of this whole fucking thing, the whole reason this Islamic revolution and republic was created was because the British owned all of the Iranian shit, and then they wouldn't give back the oil rights. The British, this was in the British Empire, they wouldn't give back the oil rights, and that pissed off a lot of Iranians. Then what happened is Iran managed to get some control back off the Brits, but then the British actually created a coup to change the government to change the democracy. And actually, if you really think about it, a lot of this stemmed from the British Empire being probably too fucking horrible to the Iranians at that time. Obviously, that now changed to be the United States Empire because the British Empire gave the keys to the American Empire after the Second World War. But I'm saying, like, the fight in their eyes, and I'm being very devil's advocate here because I do believe they've done a lot of bad shit, but I'm saying the fight in their mind, if you go from their perspective, is they were always fighting for their sovereignty and the right to own the things which were theirs on their Iran land or Persian land or whatever. And they're fighting against the great Satan, against these people who have just, you know, taken away their shit. And then, you know, we're saying they can't have nuclear weapons. Yeah, that I believe that as a Westerner, that should be the case. But the issue is that they are kind of fighting the right fight for themselves. And obviously the Americans and we are fighting the right fight for ourselves. There's no wrong in the equation. No leader thinks they're wrong. They think they're right. That's why they fight to death, because they think they're right. But it's like, the issue is with it is the Iranian Islamic, you know, the Islamic Republic, from my limited knowledge, were just in their pursuit to try and gain sovereignty and beat back, you know, the Brits and the empire around it. They just did things that were too extreme. And then they ended up actually doing things that are completely extreme and disgusting, which then turned even their own people against them. And that's what you see with the whole, you know, those 17,000 people who died. But again, you know, the Iranian media say that's not the truth, but it's a difficult one. They say that those protesters were mainly actually terrorists within their own country. But my standpoint is pretty fucking clear. Like, you got to play with the cards that you're dealt. And if you are a revolution against something, don't be as extreme as the thing trying to take your shit away from you. Because then you end up being the problem. It's like the quote, which I coined myself, which is the will to win is never as powerful as the will not to lose, which means that the will to take something from someone is never as powerful as the will not to have something taken from you. So you need to get yourself into the situation where you're fighting the war of, I am in the position where I'm not allowing you to take something from me, because then you will always win. There is no record in history that you don't win. It's like the fight for freedom. Liberty, liberation, freedom. It's like, you are taking my freedom away from me, so we will fight. And look at the history books. When it comes down to someone, because you don't need someone's fucking freedom. You're taking it from them to manipulate them and control them. So you're taking something. Trying to take something is harder to do than you saying, I'm not letting you take my fucking thing. That's just inherently what it's all about. Vietnam's another great example. Like, those Vietnamese little fucking dudes, they were like, you're not having it. It was like, that's not happening again. You're not having this. And they beat the Americans. It's mad, actually. Like, that's what a lot of people are thinking about this Iranian thing. Like, oh yeah, the Americans might lose again. This time, legends, it ain't gonna happen. Because the amount of military fucking might. But yeah, it's a good example. I think Taiwan would be another one. If the Chinese tried to take the Taiwanese's liberty and take that country back and make it Chinese and communist, I just don't think China would win. Because I think if the Taiwanese people, I don't even know if you call them Taiwanese, I don't know what the name is, but it's Taiwan. If every single human in Taiwan said, you're not taking our shit, that would mean that China would have to do a genocide. And it's very unlikely that China would do that. So if the way to win is genocide, you will probably lose. That's just that's the history books, except for Palestine. But I wouldn't admit like fucking that was an actual genocide. So it's a crazy one. But yeah, I would say the will. I say the will to win is more powerful. So the will to win is less powerful than the will not to lose. Is because when you win something, it's different to losing something. So actually, I know everyone's, but you know, what does that even mean? I've even done it myself. Like, what does it even mean? If you winning something is usually taking something extra to what you already have. You don't win your freedom. You should have your freedom. That should be de facto. You have freedom. You hold on to it. You don't win something which you already should have. So it's like, yeah, the will to win is less powerful than the will not to lose. And then you have the concept of trying to take is harder than trying to not let something be taken. Anyway, I'm going on an absolute tangent, bro. Do you have any more fucking things to talk about?
We're a little bit out here, bro. There's some mad shit that's been going on, though, apart from the fucking war.
My whole head's just been war. But yeah, what else has been going on? Let me just talk about the stock market then for 10 minutes. Then we'll get on some other stories. Like, what else was going on then, bro? Like, outside of war.
There's a fruit fly that's had its brain copied into, and now,
bro, this is sick.
Now it lives in its own simulation. Have you heard about this?
What? A man uploaded the brain of a fruit fly into a computer, and now it lives freely. No, dude, really?
Yeah. And they did some other mad shit as well. Here you go. This is a breakthrough from Eon Systems. Scientists mapped the whole connectome of a fruit fly brain. Back in 2024, they built a computational model of it and plugged it into a simulated body in a virtual environment, and it started behaving like a real fly, walking, grooming, feeding without any training.
Mate, if they can do that with a fly, they could do that with any brain.
Oh, yeah. The first whole brain emulation of its kind, wild step toward understanding minds. Yeah, man, a fruit fly is just hanging out in his own little fucking...
Mate, that's a mad existence just inside a computer. Yeah. Mate, the thing is, if they can do that with a brain of a fly, then they can do that with any brain. Like, seriously, like it's like the concept of that like Jurassic Park thing, you know, when they like find a little bit of the animal and they can make it into the whole animal. Like, that's literally a thing. They're doing that with super meat. They're doing it with super meat, bro.
Look at him running about.
That's inside the computer? Oh, yeah. No. No, he's in there, bro. He's in there.
He just does whatever he wants all day, every day. And this one as well. You heard about this? A petri dish of human brain cells just learned how to play Doom.
So that's the classic Doom as well. That's the classic Doom.
Yeah.
No, dude. This is honestly, we're going too quickly with this.
Oh, look at this little dish.
No. We're going too quick. We're going too quick. We're going too fast. Like, oh no. Okay, imagine this then. Okay, I'm bringing it back to war, but imagine this concept. You take a brain of a soldier, you then put it into a robotic body, and then you tell that weird cyborg brain robot to fight the wars for you. You essentially have a fucking clone. It's fucking Star Wars. Like, we're doing the clone army.
Yeah.
It's the Attack of the Clones. Mate, I saw, have you seen, I always get his name. It's Sinclair. It's called, I think he's John. No, he's not John Sinclair. Type in something Sinclair. He's the guy who's... Which one?
The gay one.
Bruv, come on, man. It's not time for that. No, there's a guy called something Sinclair. I can't remember his name. Rupert Sinclair or something.
Sinclair.
Yeah, gay boy. And he's the guy at the moment who's been, you know, he was the one who coined the Eminem thing, and he was like resveratrol Eminem, and all. He brought that really to the public. And like, he's now come out on a big press conference and said, like, we've worked out the way to reverse aging via a reset switch in all of your cells. Mate, it's crazy. And the thing is, they've done it with rats. So like, they had because rats don't live. I didn't know this. Rats only live for a fucking couple of months in some cases. So what? Yeah, rats do not live a long time. They literally are fucking quick. I think it's maximum a few years, but don't quote me on that. You can ChatGPT it. But I'm saying they took rats and then they basically put one set of rats on this regenerative, like moving back. They were changing the mitochondria of the cells, and they had a rat that went blind and then they reversed it, and then the rat could see again. And the rat, they kept pushing it back. So they said that it lived 70% longer. And then if you put a rat on a diet, for instance, a low intake calorie diet, so you put a rat onto a fasting diet, like an intermittent fasting diet where it only eats in the morning once, it will live 30% longer than a normal rat, which eats every day, 3 meals a day or whatever, like sitting at the dinner table having 3 meals. But yeah, so they had this rat, it lived 30% longer, and they made it go from blind to not blind. So, bro, if we're getting this correctly, if we can get brains from flies to play in computers and live forever, and then we can actually make the brains, roll them back.
Brain cells.
Yeah, but if we, the human brain. But if we could roll back the age of the human brain cells, and then we can actually fucking have them in a computer and then put them into a robot body, mate, we're talking right now like cyborg, like massive clone army. Like we're literally doing Star Wars. Like this is nuts. Maybe all of the films that we watch, the sci-fi films, are just like imaginations of the future. But because we make the imaginations of the future, like we actually end up just fulfilling the prophecy of what it is. Do you reckon that's what's gonna happen, bro? Like, okay.
This one's interesting as well. Have you seen it?
Breaking, someone just open sourced software that sees you through. Oh, fuck. I need that in the bathrooms, bro. I need to go to the chicks' fucking shower room, you know? That's something which you would have at school. You get in there like little fucking... You ever played that game called Bully? Canis Canamedic.
That's an old one.
Yeah, I know. It's old school. But I remember there's a mission in the game where you have to like get a picture or something of one of the chicks in the dorms and you have to like sneak in. Like imagine if you had this technology, you'd just be done. No, mate, this is gonna go way further because then the AI could just learn what your body looks like, and then mate, we're just gonna have we're gonna be able to see through walls and shit soon.
Well, this is what this can do already. It sees through walls.
Yeah, but you can't see them. You can just yeah, mate, this is nuts.
Yeah, that's the whole point of this open source software. It uses your Wi-Fi from your router to see you through the walls.
Oh no! And then the Wi-Fi could be used by some sort of mate. Okay. Every single new technology at some point gets used for something malicious. Like think about the internet. Think about crypto. Like all of these technologies are being used for malicious things.
Oh wait, he's kind of moving weird when he goes through.
Yeah, but even if, how does it know?
Anyway, some mad. Anyway, that's the sort of mad shit I was saying that's just coming out, like human brain cells playing.
It's mad.
Fruit fly just flying about. Wi-Fi.
All right, let me tell everyone about the stock market and my big fucking prediction. Legends.
I've got to make dinner. I might have to shoot.
Yeah, man. How long have we been going for?
A couple of hours.
Has it actually been 2 hours? Let me have a look.
Yeah, 87 minutes, hour and a half.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a little bit of the stock market, and then I'll probably ramble on with some questions at the end. Yeah, just bounce, bro. I'm gonna do the stock market, and I'll do some questions.
See you on the flippers, Leggies.
See you on the flare. Yeah, see you on the flip side. So, Legends stock market. I've been talking about this from day dot in my yearly, forecast at the beginning of this year. I've been saying that 2026, I really do think there's going to be a stock market crash, and I'm talking something pretty significant. We're at .com bubble levels of value. We know that the price and value are two different things. So the value of stock market is the same as it was in .com. If you asked anybody in the .com bubble if things were overvalued, they'd probably say, actually at the time they were euphoric, but in hindsight they say yes, everything was overvalued. So I think we're in the same situation. I think the AI narrative and the Trump bubble and all the printing is going to wear off. We're going to come probably back down to next high support. That's exactly what I said with the COVID highs. I said we're going to come back to it. We got it in that wick. Remember, guys? And that's a monthly candle. Monthly. So this happened, guys. I was calling back in the day that we're going to come see the COVID highs. We got that wick down. I actually think this one's going to be more severe because we've come up to a high. I'm not saying this much. If that happens, wow, we've got an issue on our hands in terms of like liquidity, the amount of margin calls, wealth loss. I think the lowest it goes is COVID. It will be the first level will be here. But if we do get a runaway market, like for instance here, you know how we get this big nuke, we get another nuke. We came back to the same level 4 times before really going. So, you know, this is kind of what I think. This could easily be retested again even 4 or 5 times. So I do think we're going to get it in 26, if not 27. The US 100 is kind of doing the same stuff as well. But let me go back to SPX. So what you're looking for, guys, for this to be a clean break is prior SR levels or support levels. So yeah, it's pretty simple, guys. Here's the next level to hold if we lose here. And we could go all the way down to the 786 at the lowest. And that would be, if we do something like that, that's exactly what this is going to be, you know, coming back down to this low wick. This is an inflation-adjusted chart of the stock market, guys, so this is not the price. But yeah, so you can see here, Legends, I do think we could get at least a 618 or a 786 on this move. This year, I do think we're going to get it. If we don't get it, we'll be 27. The way you trade it, Legends, is you need to... It's difficult because we know the stock market's going to have a failure and then it's going to be difficult to get back in. But if we come to here... Really, Legends, I've already got it drawn on. This is a preemptive drawn on. See, I've got it already drawn on. So what you're waiting for is if you come to here and the price, a rally back up to the 618. If it happens now, you draw another fib, right, from your high price into here. And then what you do is you just take the aggregated fib. So you go from here and you take this. And this is a really nice way of doing it. I love doing these types. So you have a fib pulled from the lows and you have a fib pulled from this low. The great thing is you get a pocket. You get a 618 pocket. Stock market, great. That's probably what you're going to get. If you get a 786 move, fine. So if it comes to here, though, you're going to do the middle. So this is basically the setup. And then that's what you're going to get. There's the 200-day moving average. Then you'll get a retest of the 200-day, kiss of death, and you'll get some significant move down. So it'll be something like this, you know? You can actually see... back to the 200-day. We're almost actually below it already. So actually, this is a better example. Yeah. So I do think we're going to get a stock market crash this year, guys. And I think don't get too over your heads with what's going on with, you know, the war. Because the war doesn't necessarily mean that the stock market has to go down, nor Bitcoin, nor anything like that. It's very uncorrelated. Actually, Bitcoin usually goes up if a war starts. Then it does eventually go down. But war is a little bit of a difficult one because it's a stimulation effect on the economy in most regards. I was saying in the beginning of this video, like the amount of raw materials you need, mining, logistics, just building of things, you know, the iron, the copper, the welding, not the smeldering, the weldering, whatever it is, all these construction terms, the raw materials needed, the workmanship, the skill, the labor. Like, to build shit in war, these things are getting blown up. You have to replace them in an exact sense. If it literally just replace, it's like the perfect business model. It's like you buy it, you blow it up, and you buy it again. It's literally the perfect business model. There is no business model better than that. Maybe healthcare, but I would say because healthcare is like ultimately, if you die, you die. So you'll pay any amount of money to fucking defend it. But yeah, this is a really good business model. Like, it's going to stimulate the economy. Lockheed Martin, all these companies are going to go crazy because they're going to make more money, and like that's going to affect the stock market because if they make more money, then if they're giving a dividend, the shareholder makes more money, and then the price goes up with the stock because you can yield more on the dividend depending. If they don't have a dividend, then the growth will be higher because if a company does not give its shareholders dividends, it means it has more money to pump into growth, which would be advertising, marketing, for instance. There are great companies like, for instance, Tesla. I think doesn't do a dividend. So, you know, you can see it's a growth stock instead of it being a defensive, you know, 3% to 4% yield on the div. But anyway, I do think we're going to get a big nuke on the old stocky. And that will correlate, I think, quite likely, guys, with gold. Because gold, we're getting 5,100 again. I've said that $5,000 probably caps gold. It is having a little bit of a waiver, but it's nothing to get too concerned about if you're a gold bull. I have spot bullion gold, I own derivatives, I have paper gold. At this point, guys, the issue is I've said from the beginning of this whole thing. So, guys, when gold was trading at, we have to go back a while. I've been calling for this formation for literally a decade. Okay, so I was kind of in the big gold era. I was trading gold along here. This is a huge cup and handle formation with a flat top. I was calling, guys, for when we get the breakout to go to $5,000, guys. So that prediction happened. I called $5,000 years ago. I said maybe 10 if we go into some sort of crazy fiat currency collapse scenario. That's probably not going to happen in the next 5 years. The US dollar probably won't collapse in the next 5 years. It's still quite strong. The US government is still demanding US dollars for taxes to be paid. So everyone, every company, every individual, every institution has to pay taxes in dollars. Massive demand. Every nation who is connected to the SWIFT system have to transact back into dollars. The petrodollar, massive agreements all around the Middle East and the Gulf countries. They have to buy oil with dollars. You know, there's so much demand pushing the dollar into what it is. So I don't think the dollar's going to collapse anytime soon. So I don't think we're going to get the 10,000 prediction. I think I said 10,000 if something goes crazy with fiat. I don't think. I've been calling $5,000 for years. You can even ask my family. I remember my mum was like buying and selling shit in auctions, and I was like, just hold on to the gold because I know it's going to go up, and we're at $5,000. So that's all happened. That prediction played out because we forget, guys, that I predicted 5K. I know I'm saying I think it's going to stop at 5K. Everyone's like, oh, but you said it's going to stop at 5K. It went to 5.7. Yeah, well, I predicted it going fucking 5K in the first place, right? So, fucking everyone's like, oh, yeah, it went to 5,700. You said it was going to 5K. Well, yeah, it went to fucking 5K. And I called that 10 years ago. So now it's like, where are we going to head to? And it could go higher because there's nothing really against this. What you're really looking for gold is a significant move down, back to wick low, back up on a fib and a lower high, and then a break. And that's what you're going to get. And very unlikely gold's going to go up and then down. It's more likely going to do something flat for 18 months. And the previous significant top we saw was, and I'm on a daily chart, so let's just do days. It'll probably come to 400 days or something like that, since you got the breakdown. Yeah, it's literally you go to the actual breakdown of here, when it literally wicked down, it's at 400 days, 420 days. So you're probably going to see this take 400 days as well, going sideways before it actually nukes, which is going to drive everybody crazy. In the period where it does that, you're going to get the Peter Schiffs and the Mike Maloney's of the world pulling their hair out, and they're going to be going, no, it's going to continue, and it's not going to continue. And then they'll probably, Mike Maloney will probably be dead by then, so he'll have to get, use the money for his funeral. But Schiff will probably be dead by then as well. So all the gold bugs, they've been waiting many years for this, and it's going to happen. They got their moment, and then they're not going to get another one. So it might be time to see you on the flippers. But yeah, I think gold's, we just want to see the break, but it's doing well. Silver is kind of what you would expect gold to start doing if it is going to top. It hasn't got anywhere close to its prior high. It's actually closer to the wick bottom. If it goes here, and this could, quite likely be a top for silver. Also, this is a significant break of structure. It broke the parabola as well. So silver is looking more likely like it will top, and usually silver can actually, give you a little bit of an insight to what gold's going to do eventually. Very similar to like if Ethereum does something or an altcoin, higher cap altcoin, it can kind of give you an idea of what Bitcoin might do. So silver, if it wants to, continue up, a lot of the guys on the bots, I've got really, really good successful trading bots on gold. Gold's been one of my best bots. Let me get rid of this call because it's banging on and stuff. My trading bots have been doing very well on, let's have a look at this, bot master library. So you go into the trading bots, guys. Gold has done it significantly well over the last 6 months. Okay, where's my fucking gold? Yeah, this is silver, sorry. So silver's doing very, very well. It's had not a very good month this month. Oh, this is bots, guys. This is bot master. These are my bots from my company. So it's okay this month, but I think this month going forward, it hasn't been that profitable. Let me just find gold. I can't find it. It should be PAX G, but I think it's not on win rate. It should be on profit factor. It should be near the top. PAX G, there we go. I got it favorited. So this one's been fucking flying. This is a trading bot, guys. You can literally use this trading bot with one click on my company, mdxalgo.com. So go check it out, Botmaster. So this has been doing 30% gains. Had a couple of months here. It was a bit of a blip, but it's been doing very, very well. If you actually bring up the chart as well, you can see that it's not optimal. It's had some very nice trades here. So the last buy trade was here. The sell trade was there. We had a really nice 2 trades on gold. But now it's not really optimal. This is a losing trade. We are in the sell now, so we'll see if we do get a move down. I wouldn't bet on it. So this is probably going to be a losing bot trade. But over the last 25 trades, goes back, it's been very, very good. It's been phenomenal over this whole bull market. Like you can see here, guys, buy, take profit, buy, take profit, buy, sell. It's literally just buying, taking profit, buying, taking profit. It's phenomenal. So this bot's been really, really good. And I really do trade gold and silver with my trading bots, guys. That's kind of like my thing. I've been trading with the PaxG bot for a long time, and I kind of keep it automated. It's too slow. You know, it's not like a Bitcoin or a crypto or a fucking Forex market. It's a slow moving market, and you pull your hair out if you're manually trading this. I manual traded gold during 2018 and 19 for a year, and I made money, but it fucking was boring, and I did pull my hair out a few times. Dixie is holding up. So a lot of guys on crypto Twitter and money Twitter, they were all saying, oh yeah, we're going to flush back down to this level here. I've been calling it for a while, guys. I do think Dixie is probably going to do something like that. And it's going to be very, very detrimental to assets in general. And it makes sense in my eyes. If Dixie does that, it just makes sense. It's time for gold to come down a bit. It's time for silver to pull back a bit. You know, Bitcoin's already had a big move down. Yeah. If Dixie decides to, fall as well. If Dixie begins to recoup some strength, you're going to see Bitcoin probably having a little bit of a tough time. But Bitcoin isn't necessarily correlated to Dixie. We've seen it multiple times in multiple cases that Bitcoin can go up and Dixie can go down, and Dixie can go up, Bitcoin can go. There is a correlation. I'm saying Dixie can go and Bitcoin can go up. So basically, what I'm trying to say here is that, yeah, this market does. I can't call it just yet because we haven't broken this level, the blue line. Okay, I can't call it just yet, but I think we're gonna get it, guys. That's a hunch. Okay, and if we do get it, you can bet your bottom dollar that gold's topped. If we're going to get this, another one of these, which I think we're going to get, gold's topped, guys. Very, very likely. The biggest connection between the Dixie and other assets out there is gold. There's a huge connection between US dollars and gold because US dollars are essentially a ticket or a receipt for gold. Like there is no such thing as a dollar without gold, and there's no such thing as gold. No, that's not true. There is a thing called gold without dollars, but there's no such thing as dollars without gold. That's where it all came from. So, yeah, I think we're going to get it, and that's going to be gold, silver's topped. The stock market will see some pressure. Gold could move into the stock market. I think we're going to get a crash on the stock market, but it's going to be a very quick move down, short-lived, burst the bubble, and then we'll continue. And Bitcoin's a difficult one because it's already gone down 50%, so it could decouple. We could see Bitcoin have a nice rally, but Bitcoin's a tough one, guys. At the end of the day, I've already said at the beginning of the stream, it's either we're going to get the relief rally here to 100 or we go down lower. Between here and 48.9, 50k, and I've said 52 is the main level. We're likely going to get a significant rally, guys, between here and 50. Okay, very likely we're going to get a significant rally up. The issue is that significant rally is very likely going to be capped as a sucker's rally. And $100,000, I think, caps it, and then actually we go and make a lower low. And I've said it already on this stream once, but I'll quickly show you again. It's probably going to end up looking something similar to this 2019 into 2020 cycle, where you've got this big bull market, it's topped out, you get a nice big suckers rally into halfway up, and then boom. And guys, there's a lot of evidence to say that this was COVID, which did the last big candle, but there was a lot of evidence to say that if we didn't have COVID, this would have gone down to the lows and lower anyway. It was just that COVID made it happen a bit faster. It may have taken like that much time, and then we would have found a bottom here and done it. Because this is a classic textbook bull market in terms of this cyclical bull trend. It's not actually a global bull market. It's a bull trend topping out, suckers rally, breaking all the potential resistances, and then see on the flip side. So it's kind of not perfect, but it is kind of good at the same time. And I do think that's probably what we'll get. Suckers rally, and then we'll make a lower low into the 30s, which is going to be pretty painful for most people if they're not prepared. And then, yeah, I think then we'll get the move out for Bitcoin. But it's altcoins aren't really even bothering with at the minute. I have a big short. I sold all my BNB at the top. You guys know that trade. Look at my Twitter. I sold all my BNB at the top, and I'm just waiting in cash, yielding. Total twos trying to hold up. If it loses this wick, we're going lower, but I think it's the same story. It's a relief move from here, and then we're going into that, and then we're going to likely come back into here anyway, just like we did in this cycle. Up, back in, up, back in. It could even be more severe than that, to be honest. We could even go even lower than there, and that we could even break all this, and that would be very, very severe into that, and then we get it. Wouldn't surprise me. More volatility in alts, and there's less drama about the story in alts. People don't care as much at this point. But globally, yeah, stock market is holding up better than, I think there's going to be a stock market crash this year, big one. But we'll see what happens. Micro strategy, everyone talks about it. It's got a little bit more to go. Guys, it's just going to do that again. It's not going to hold here. It's going to go lower, and it's likely going to do what Bitcoin does. If Bitcoin goes down to $30,000, this is going down to $30,000, or it's going back down to its swing lows as well. MicroStrategy is a great company. I like what they're doing. I think Michael Saylor's really putting his neck out there to, make a statement, a strategy. He's putting his strategy on the name. But it's a double-edged sword, this game, because you're debt leveraging as well as you're relying on the asset, the commodity and fintech stock. Like Bitcoin is a commodity and a fintech stock at the same fucking time. So you're betting on a commodity and a stock moving. So that's volatile. So this is going to be volatile. So you've got that part of it. Then you've got the count that the internal management risk. You might employ someone who's crap. You might have some leak. There's a lot of moving parts, which can mean this can be extremely bad and extremely good. So it can be extremely good, but it's probably going to go lower than. It's probably going to start acting like Bitcoin, more volatile, which is fine if you're up for that type of volatility and you want to get exposure. Yeah, and look, guys, the Dubai real estate market. Yeah, it's been a rocky fucking week. I've said it from the beginning, and I'll say it again. If the war ends this week, I believe that this is going to recover very quickly, and the United Arab Emirates will use this as another reason for why Dubai is so great. We shot down thousands of drones, hundreds of missiles, and only 5 people died. I hate saying that, only. 5 people should never have died. 5 people lost their lives. It could have been me. I was in the country. I could have lost my life. Simply that. It was complete potluck who died, even though more people might die. I'm not saying it's over, because bombs might come down in a minute. But I'm saying 5 is too many, but if the war ends this week, this will probably make Dubai an even more attractive reason or place to come, because the numbers are crazy. Like, they literally shot down hundreds of drones, hundreds of missiles, cruise missiles, ballistic missiles, drones, the whole 9 yards. 5 people unfortunately died, which is still on paper means that Dubai is in the top 10 countries of the world in safety, even with that. So it will be used as a marketing campaign to push Dubai even further into the heights of, look at what we've got. THAAD, Patriots, we've got missile defense systems which are better than nations with 100 million population. We've got 5 million people in the UAE combined. It's actually it's amazing. It really is what they've done. But if this war goes on until 6 months, 3 months even, long term, Dubai will recover like any fucking country which would be in a war. Look at Vietnam, look at fucking Iraq, look at like the war in the Middle Ages, fucking look at the Mongolian Empire. Look at every war eventually gets forgotten. In the long term, Dubai will be fine, but in the medium and short term, it will not. If this fucking country has a war for 3 months or even 6, you're looking at 5 years of damage, probably 4 or 5 years of in lack of investor confidence. Real estate prices will not probably climb. It'll probably start climbing in 2 years. It's very difficult to persuade someone who's going to buy a $45 million penthouse or a $30 million penthouse to give them a thesis and say, Dubai is the place to come. Here's the record. And there's a 6-month black mark on your penthouse could be blown up by a drone from fucking Iran. That's really difficult to justify, especially this country, how it's all orientated around money and low tax and safety. Everyone who comes here wants low tax, money, and safety. If that safety part disappears because it's been at war for 6 months, it's very difficult for big money to say, I'm going to lock in this country because it's just too risky. What happens if you get blown up and lose a $50 million penthouse? I get it. They'll go to Panama, they'll go to Singapore, and they'll take 9% instead of 0. You've got to remember, like, there's always a positive and negative. Like, you pay 9% tax in Singapore, maybe a little bit more depending, or less if you're smart, but you have an incredible track record of no wars, and you have a longer life expectancy, and you have very good safety. Not as good as Dubai, but it's always a pull and a tear. Even I've thought about Singapore. The issue with Singapore I have is there is tax, and there are lots of other complications, like driving's like frowned upon. You have to get like, you have to pay like $1 million or something to have a car if it's really expensive or fast. Even getting the citizenship is more difficult. There's a lot of red tape, or let's just say barriers to entry, which does make it when you get in better in a lot of cases, because you don't get as many scammers and people like that who are in Dubai. But there's Panama, there's Malta, there's, you know, places like the Cayman Islands, there's Seychelles, whatever. But yeah, it's an interesting topic, what's going to happen. But I would say if this war goes on for a long time, I don't think Dubai will recoup very quickly. I think it will take a long time. I think the properties that I purchased will stay under my purchase price for many, many years, which is fine. It's not fine, it's annoying, but it doesn't make a massive difference to me, because at the moment I bought this place in Dubai, this Cayenne Tower house, and look, I can live in it. So I can take, you know, I can take the cost anyway. Fuck it. If the value goes down, I don't sell it. I'm hodling, but I'm getting value, utility. My Burj Khalifa spot is another question, but I'm going to rotor that anyway. So yeah, that's how it is, really. I'll answer some questions, legends. We'll do a few questions, and then I'll see you on the flippers, because I think I'm going to go grab something to eat. It's fucking 10:30 p.m. for me. But any questions, guys, in the chat, I will happily answer them. I actually, guys, by the way, this move here, I did predict this in my VIP group, and anyone watching right now, go to the description below. You can join my trading VIP group. This is my Discord server. You can join this completely for free. So you go to the description box below, click on Z link, and then you get in for free. And the whole point of it, guys, to be completely transparent, is you get some free value from me and my team. We show you trade setups. We show you some indicators we use. We show you some systems of how to trade and make money. You get this for free. And then I bet you, when you see how competent we are at what we do, you will make a decision to say, okay, I actually will buy something from MDX and MDX Algo and the company that he provides, because a lot of our tools, you know, I spend $40,000 to $50,000 a month servicing the tools that I create. So bots, indicators, academy systems, mentorship, all these things cost a lot of money. But you'll come in and get the free community. You'll see how competent we are and how much money we can provide and make, and we can show you what's going on. And I bet you will end up buying something from me, because you will see that it will be worth you buying it. And that's my whole game. I want to give you value as well as you pay me for value. So it's amazing. So what we got here, we got some flags in the chat. So we're saying Iran or Israel. Look, it's obviously in my case, you know, I'm going to be backing Israel on this because of lots of different factors. But you know, it's a volatile topic. But if you put a gun to my head and say, who are you going to back? I'm going to, not because I want to, but I would back Israel. I don't think Israel are perfect. Obviously, I don't think Iran are perfect, but I do think Iran stand on quite decent core values on why they're doing what they're doing from the beginning. I won't go into it too far. And I do believe, obviously, Israel have their reasons for wanting to do this, but I do think they've stepped over the mark on a few things. So they're not perfect. Both sides aren't fucking perfect. I don't even think Trump's perfect. You know, he started a massive war in the Gulf, and lots of people have died in other nations that aren't even involved. So, but for me, it's if you put a gun to my head and said, who do you back? It's got to be the Western Israeli system, because, you know, we can be all arty-farty and say, oh, well, I'm going to back Iran on this. But the issue is they haven't got your back. At least the Israelis and the American side have my back, because I am who I am. I'm from the United Kingdom. I live in Dubai, etc., etc. The Iranians probably wouldn't see it in the same way. So, but for me, yeah, it's a difficult one. But it's not that difficult to make the decision. I'm just saying that both sides are fighting for what they think is right. Okay, that is 100%. And I'm not stupid enough or naive enough not to understand that if you put yourselves in the shoes of both sides, you can make up a story about why they're right. You can do it with any conflict. You can always, if you really are objective and impartial, you can put yourself in their shoes and you can listen to what they listen to, and I can do that. It's called critical thinking, I think. Okay, if you haven't got the ability to think of abstract scenarios and then say, this abstract scenario isn't happening right now, but if it did happen to you, what would you do? If you can't do that, then you don't have the ability to do critical thinking. I believe that that's a really important part of being able to like actually think about what you think about. If you can't put yourself into hypothetical situations and then answer the question of the hypothetical in a way which would be as good as real, then you're going to have difficulty really thinking about stuff. That's why I do when I have traders, and this is a different topic, but when I have traders who I try and teach trading, I put them into extremely extreme decisions. I make them make very extreme decisions. I say you can only have one or the other. And a lot of people don't get this, but actually it's very powerful to do this. If you say to someone, okay, you can either use this tool or this tool, and you cannot use anything else, you can only use this one or this one, which one do you choose? That actually forces you to have to think about what really matters. And actually, in a lot of cases, you surprise yourself. I do it with fundamental analysis or technical analysis. I say, okay, look, you can only have one. You can have fundamental analysis or you can have technical analysis. Which one do you choose? But you can only have one. The great thing about that question is it makes you prioritize. And if you prioritize, you have to make a decision and you learn what you really need. And a lot of people don't get that. They're like, no, I can't do it because it's not in the real world and it's not reality. And a lot of people get really upset about this because you'll say something like, well, okay, put yourself in the shoes of an army that you didn't agree with. So put yourselves in the shoes of a Russian soldier right now. And because everyone's like, oh, the Russians shouldn't do what they did and the da-da-da-da. But if you actually put yourself into the shoes of a Russian soldier and they're being forced and there's a lot of propaganda and there's a lot of pressure, you might find yourself making a different decision. You might say, okay, I will go fight for this cause, which they're doing. As by the way, they are doing that. And it's the same with the Israeli and Iranian thing. Like, if you really look at the whole reason Iran had the regime start, the Islamic Revolution, it really actually was for quite moral causes. They were trying to fight back against the British Empire and the colonialism of that system. And the British, who completely admit this, they started a coup in Iran to try and change the democratic system to then make it so someone would come in and then give the oil rights to the British Empire. That's not cool. And the Iranian Revolution was built on the basis of those simple principles, which then turned out that they, in their pursuit of trying to protect their nation, went a way too extreme. And that extremism within their culture, or let's just say their religion, or who they are as people, has then put them into a position where now everyone just thinks you're a piece of shit because you've been too extreme on your cause. Like, it doesn't matter what cause you're fighting for. It could be the most moral right thing on your side. You could be fighting the most moral thing in your perspective. But if you go too far and you alienate everyone who is your supporter, you will still lose, even if your core message may be right. That's the problem. A good example would be, the Nazis. Like, if you really think about what they were trying to do as a nationalistic party, a social nationalistic party, trying to stop influence from immigrants, specifically Jewish immigrants, from taking over the German culture. That's really where it came from. If you word it like that, you're like, okay, well, that makes sense. Well, why didn't they do it? Why wasn't it resolved in diplomacy? And why wasn't it resolved in? Because if that was what they were fighting for, and obviously it got way too extreme, and I'm not trying to say that there's any way that Nazi movement was justified. But I'm saying if they had have brought these issues and said, let's just deal with it democratically and do diplomacy and let's talk about it, and then they came to a resolution, then we would have said that, well, that was fine. But it was the fact that the Nazis went so extreme that alienated everyone to say that you are fucking evil because you're attacking Poland, you're killing Jews. But if you go down the rabbit hole far enough, these fucking these German people still backed the guy. They still backed Hitler. So I'm just saying, listen, this topic is so difficult for people to understand. If you don't have the ability to put yourself into the shoes of even your biggest enemy, for instance, Hitler, and you haven't got the ability to critically think about why they made the decision that they made, and then say to yourself, and try and actually come up with a concept of put yourself in their shoes and try and make an argument for why they were right, even though it may be the most disgusting thing in the world. If you can't do that, you're in a really bad place, because you need to be able to do that to then be able to verify what is right and what is wrong. And for instance, with the Nazi thing and with the Iranian thing and with even the Israeli thing, you know, these are all really extreme parties. Israel have done unbelievably crazy extreme things. Iran have done unbelievably extreme things. Obviously, the Nazi regime did unbelievably extreme things. Think about Stalin. Even to a degree, you could say this about Winston Churchill. This is the problem about England right now. A lot of people have gone down that rabbit hole of putting themselves into Winston Churchill's shoes, and now they think he's a disgusting, horrible racist because he went and killed half a bunch of Indians and shit. So you can make up any concept in your mind of, you can build any fucking logical outcome to the side that you are backing if you put yourselves in their shoes. But you have to be able to do it, because if you can't do critical thinking, you're just basically a little robot who doesn't have the ability to control your emotions. So you can't control your emotional state, that you essentially become the tool that someone who can do that is for them to fight their cause. Because if you can't do that, you will be manipulated like the Nazis, you will be manipulated like the Israelis, you will be manipulated like the Iranians, and you'll be manipulated into doing something for a fight that someone is thinking about when you're not thinking about it. And like, that's the problem with most people. They just cannot get past that barrier. They cannot think in their head like, why did the Nazis do what they did? Why did the Iranians do? Why are the Iranians doing what they're doing? Why are the Israelis doing what they're doing? Why is the Americans doing what they're doing? Why did the Brits do what they did when it was the English Empire? Why did the Mongolians wipe out half of fucking Europe? Why did the Japanese kill whole towns and villages? Why did the Romans conquer and in conquest? Why did the Byzantines, which was the Northern Holy Empire, why did they go and do what they did? Why did the Egyptians do what they fucking did? In a lot of cases, they may have got hundreds of thousands of slaves to build pyramids. You know, that's evil if it is true. So, yeah, it's difficult, but I'm pretty impartial. I just believe that at this point, I would back Israel because of all the factors I just said. Do you think that it's better for the general public to be docile sheep or mass awakening? I just think that the problem is about most human beings is like, firstly, there's resistance to be awakened, because to be awakened, you have to think. And to think is more difficult than not thinking. And unfortunately, which is a byproduct of animals in general, we always like to do less, because doing more is more energy. And we're animals which are trying to conserve energy. We're trying to live longer. We don't want to expend all of our energy all the time. So it's easier to not think than to think. So de facto, you're going to have more people in the world who don't even want to think about it, because then you have to think, and it's difficult, and it's hard. You have to make decisions and all that shit. Even just making decisions is difficult. So a massive swathe of the population just don't want to think. So they're happy to just live in the sports world and live in the pub and talk about it and just do things that make them feel good all the time. Drink, smoke, just do things that create dopamine and create oxytocin, and just do like nice feeling things all the time and not think, yeah, it feels nice, but I don't think. Like, that's fine. That's why you get drug addicts and all this kind of shit. And this has been happening for thousands of fucking years. Like, most people just want to sit on the ranch, smoke a pipe, relax with a beer, and not think. Fine. That's cool. So most people are sheep by de facto. It's their own choice. That's why most likely in society you have the Pareto principle, where 80% of people usually don't have much stuff and 20% usually have a lot of stuff. It's not a linear thing. It's like, to be successful and to be good and to be great, it's not linear. It's exponentially more difficult. It's so easy to do nothing. Doing nothing is the easiest thing in the world. You literally just don't do. You don't think, you don't do, you don't. It's just easy. It's de facto easy. It's not hard to do. It's not hard not to do. But to do is exponentially difficult if you want to achieve more. It's not just like, if you do 10 hours, you then get 10 points. You do 20 hours, you get 20 points. It's actually, you do the first 10 hours, you get 10. Then you do 20, then you get 5. Then you do 30, then you get 2.5. Hard shit to do exponentially gets more difficult to do and be successful in, because you're going up against other people who are extremely good at what they do. So the competition gets so much more difficult. Like, if everyone could be Elon Musk, if everyone could be Elon Musk tomorrow and have $160 billion, it would be worthless to have $160 billion because everyone would have it. The reason Elon Musk has got what he's got is because of the unbelievable difference between what he does in his work and someone who does nothing. It's like so far. It's literally like night and fucking day. It's like 12 midnight, 12 noon. The amount, it's not just a linear scale. Literally, to do nothing is 1 minus. To do nothing is 1 minus. To be Elon Musk is plus a billion. And to get to plus a billion is not just like 1 plus. You do and you don't do. You do, it's just not the same. To do things that are great and are amazing, it's not just linear. It's exponentially more difficult to get there because you're going up against unbelievable competition and talent. It's like, you know, that's why it's never easy to make money. That's why it's never easy to make lots of money, because the more money you make means the more money you take and the more competition it is. So if it's just more, like if it was easy to make money, then there wouldn't be competition. So it wouldn't be hard. It wouldn't be valued. So the scale of things to do has to be hard, because then it has scarcity, which creates its value. And that's another whole topic. But I'm saying things that are difficult to do, most people can't do them, which means that it's scarce, which derives its value. But then as it gets harder to do, it gets more competitive, because you're going against harder fucking enemies or for harder collaboration. I call it collaboration. You know, it's like you're competing against harder and harder enemies. It's like going up the game. It's like the first level's easy, but the last level's fucking 100 times harder. So it's like the scale of difficulty increases exponentially. And like, yeah, that's my point. I don't know. It's like Elon is doing it's like the competition factor. It's like the reason it's hard to make lots of money is because it's competitive, not because it's hard in terms of work. It's just because more people are competing to get that money, and the scale goes down so far. It's 1 to do nothing, but you've got to get to 1 billion to get Elon Musk, and that's not money wise. I'm just saying the amount of effort you have to do, and also there's so many other factors that you can't choose. To do nothing, it's never like you can miss doing nothing. If you do nothing, it's not like you by mistake do something. Right? So if you do nothing, you always do nothing. But if you do something, sometimes you just miss because you're unlucky. That's the hardest pill to swallow. You could work 10 fucking years at something, but you could just miss the timing or be unlucky or something happened to you or you get ill. But to do nothing, you never by mistake just gain something. It's always 0 to 1, nothing. 0 to -1, nothing. You did nothing. You didn't try. You did zilch. But you can work for 20 fucking years and you can still not make it. It's a tough fucking world. I've seen it before. I've seen people make millions of dollars and lose it. All of it. And then they never come back. It's hard to watch. Elon is definitely a very rare breed of human. I know. Well, I'm not. And the thing is about Elon, it's just one point. I'm taking the richest man in the world and I'm saying, what does that man have to do to get what he has in comparison to most humans that make a decision to do nothing? I'm just saying, if you wake up in the morning, it's so easy to do nothing. It's just so much easier to do nothing than to do something. It's just like the nature of the world. You know, to do something, you have to get up, you have to expend energy. Like, expending energy on just any level is difficult. That's why you have to, like, blow up fuel in a car to go forwards. You know, it's not like you just, or you have to fill up your electricity in your vehicle, in your Tesla, to get it to go. It's not like it's easier to go than not to go. Your battery stays up when you don't go. When you start going, your battery goes down. It's like you have to do to move, you know? It's a fucking kind of ridiculous concept, but it makes sense, I think. What does this number 1 mean? Straight facts and economics. I don't know what this number 1 means. I think it's people who have like a XP. They're gaining XP as they chat, I think. So the people who comment the most are gaining XP, which is pretty cool. So keep gaining XP, legends. Top fans, it says. But yeah, I'm probably going to bounce in a minute, legends. It's nearly 11 p.m. I haven't eaten anything. I'm actually fasted right now, which feels good. My Twitter, by the way, guys, is absolutely exploding at the minute. I think this one's probably got about 30,000 views now. I did one video. Sorry, I did a clip. Like, this one's going berserk. It's got like 315,000 views on that tweet. I don't know. This one I fucked up because I... Oh, no way. 32,000 views on that one. I was not expecting that. So this one's just gone ballistic as well. What are people commenting? I actually fucked this one up because I wrote in something. But anyway, yeah, go to my Twitter, guys. Enjoy it all. It's all crack-a-lacking. And then what I'll do is I'll speak to you on the next stream. Hit the like button on the way out as well. That'd be awesome. Yeah, ES1, this is the pre-market. So ES1 is, you know, you can trade the price of the index of SPX when the traditional market is closed. So you can see when this is open and you can see when the others are closed. So it's basically a pre-market open. The great thing about this is, like, you see all these people like, the stock market's going to crash on Monday, bro. It's going to be red fucking Monday. And you look at ES1, you're like, yeah, you're a fucking moron. Just mooning. So it's a way of doing that. If you want to know when the stock market's open and close, this has actually changed for some reason. Yeah, if you want to know when the markets are opening and closing, you just come to the dashboard and you can see here, open, this is opening in 12 hours. It's all a bit condensed. This will be nicer UI on your screen. Like, if you do that, you'll be able to see it nicely. But we're actually going to change this to numbers. So it's going to count down and up. So the New York Stock Exchange is open right now. This will actually be updated soon, where you'll have it so it times down the amount of time you have left in the open. But it's just a way of tracking the open and the close, essentially. Yeah, so my Twitter's going off. There's lots and lots of people commenting on stuff. So go to my Twitter, guys, and like everything. You're all